A wise man who famously worked in this building once said, "Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?" And that's a sentiment certainly shared by the players, the dozens of players and coaches down on that field right now. I know it's one shared by us. I'm Francis Beck. Along with me, right next to me, Tim Chifa. We have Jim Craig and Paul Catrona. This is the Section 6 Football Class C pregame show. We have the Lackawanna Steelers set to take on the Fredonia Hillbillies. And guys, we have a fantastic game ahead of us. First, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it, of these two teams. Let's start with Lackawanna.
Well, I mean, Lackawanna, first and foremost, they're 10-0. They've really only been battle-tested once, Francis. I mean, they had a 12-6 game against the Pew, and that was really it. We had a chance to interview Billy Gatcho, the quarterback, when we did our show. Just a great kid, all about the team, having a fantastic senior year, 1,350 yards, 24 touchdowns. But you can't talk about Lackawanna without talking about the defense. I mean, this defense is incredible. Only one team has scored more than 14 points against them, and that was only 17 points. So this defense is one of the best in Western New York, if not the best.
All right, Paul, he's actually going to get some special credit if Lackawanna when he's the official food provider for the Lackawanna team, right? You gave them the free game meal.
That's right.
Or if they don't win?
In another world, I'm also, we're in the food business, and we provided meals today for Lackawanna when they asked for them.
So, in the field.
So, I would agree with Tim. Defensively, Lackawanna is an amazing, amazing defense. I was looking up some things. They have linebackers, 4 linebackers with over 30 tackles. One is in the 70s, a defensive end who's got over 80 some tackles. So nobody's really scoring on them.
Right.
And the flip side is their offense is lights out.
Yeah, I asked Billy Gatcho when we interviewed him, what do they have to keep doing to continue the season, keep it going? And his answer was, play Lackawanna football. And I asked, I said, what is that? Now I'm thinking he's going to be quarterback. He's going to say, throw the ball around. He goes, sound defense, control the ball, like exactly what you're supposed to say. I wouldn't have said it, but he said it perfectly. And it's just like he said, it's all about defense with them.
Yeah, and I think fundamentals.
Yeah.
Coach Tardoff told me I try to pick his brain, make him say something more than the normal things, but that's exactly what he said. Basic football, come out, hit hard, no mistakes, and let them and be a Lackawanna team.
Right.
Real quick before we get to Jim, I do want to mention this show is brought to you by A-Turf, Howard Hanna Real Estate, Logistics Plus, and Western New York Community here. So, Jim, Fredonia team we both saw last week at Medina, and they were looking for revenge in that game, and they certainly got it. What's the most important part of this Fredonia team?
Most important part is it's kind of a twofold, in my opinion. And the first is the quarterback, Ethan Fry. Now, we all saw him last week come out, seemed to be just a little bit nervous, and overthrew a couple of people, had 2 interceptions in the red zone, and then came back and orchestrated the great comeback that they had and finally won at 29-22. And as the story goes, the coaches wanted to go, when they had the ball with 1:40 left, they wanted to go with the punt. At that time, they were on their own 49 with 1:40, and the players, they called timeout. The players went back into the huddle, and we found this out thanks to our great cameraman, Mr. Mario Hall, who happened to be in that huddle. And the coaches wanted to punt. The players, Ethan Fry led them, said, let's not do that, let's go for it. They got 3 yards and went on. What they need to do is continue to run the ball and to pass the ball. They can do both.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the shoes that Fry had to step into, for this year. That is not an easy task. Playing, behind such a great quarterback last year, to step in this year and be that successful, you don't see that very often. Usually when it's a turnover from quarterback to the next quarterback, they become like a running offense. This team kept the same offense as it did last year with a Division I quarterback. You just don't see that too often.
Shows you the great leadership he presents to that team. And that kind of leadership, other players will feed off of.
Right.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that that quarterback that you were talking about, Mr. Whitfield, his brother is one of the
receivers.
leading receivers for Ethan Fry. So it's a nice deal that they continue that on. I agree with you 100% there, Tim.
And, let's not forget, Fredonia has a fantastic defense. They're led by junior Samuel Itzel. Get this, 107 total tackles, 21 for a loss, and 18 sacks. He's going to be leading the way against a guy we just mentioned, Sunday Iganawa. I know I said his name wrong. Him and his brother, they're going to be a tough. They're going to be tough for him. And then
All of these family situations on the team. So you got brothers playing against other brothers. Fabulous. One point I wanted to bring up about Lackawanna, their offense averaged 33 points a game, and to Tim's point, their defense gave up less than 10 a game.
Yeah, and Antoine Threets, he's the real deal. Almost 1,000 yards rushing.
Potent.
Yep.
And a fabulous defense.
Yep.
And we'll see which one is on tonight.
And then the other side, Paul, and as you mentioned, the Fredonia basically is in the same category. They average 33 points a game. They give up a little more on defense. They give up 16.2 points a game. So again, I think as you set the stage for it, we're going to have an excellent game here.
I think the thing that we can't forget about with Lackawanna, I think a lot of people, including myself, had them a little down going in this playoffs because we perceived, I think, that C Central Division as being a weaker division,
right.
and we perceived the South as being a tougher one. Well, Lackawanna, they beat Southwestern, they beat Salamanca, and now they have Fredonia. Their two toughest tests they just handled, and they weren't exactly real close games. They weren't necessarily blowouts, but they weren't really close games. So I think if you're at Lackawanna, even though they may have not gotten tested real well in the regular season, they face some big tests in the playoffs, and they really answered the bell.
Yeah, I with Lackawanna is how are they gonna react if they have some adversity, right? Which they really didn't have other than week 4 against the Pew. They really haven't faced any adversity. So I'm interested to see if Fredonia can put some pressure on them, how they will react to that adversity.
And I think on the Fredonia side, that's what they have to do. They've got to put pressure on the offense of especially in the running game. They run that ball up the middle. They've got a strong offensive line. That's Lackawanna does.
Right.
And Fredonia needs to get their big guys to at least be able to hold down that run.
But I love your point about the offensive line. When I talked to Coach Tarda, what makes your team run? Offensive line play. Everything centers on that, and he was just head over heels on how well his players are playing this year. So I'd say good luck to Lackawanna, good luck to Fredonia.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to point out. So I was talking with Tom Prince. I think it was maybe today or the other day. They're all blending in with each other, but in some ways, this Lackawanna team is built sort of like Bennett, where there's not like one guy that is the guy. They have like 5 or 6 guys. They have a couple receivers. We mentioned Antoine Threets. I'm trying to pull up their stats right now.
Smalls.
Yeah, we have Smalls.
Smalls is
Mir
11
Douglas,
touchdowns. So.
Alexander Hall. You have a couple of guys. They can, they're a very complete team in that way. There's
and that's just on one side of the ball. As Paul mentioned, 4 linebackers over 30 tackles. That's incredible. I mean, that's
so again, we don't always the guys in the trenches don't always get the pub. But to think about having
they do on Western York
4
Athletics
linebackers that are free enough to run and make tackles, make plays, that means those men in front of them are doing their job.
Absolutely,
up the
absolutely.
line.
All right, real quick before we end it, final predictions.
Predictions?
Paul?
Well, I'll go with Lackawanna.
No score?
Score?
Yeah. Let's do a full score. Do the full thing.
27-14.
And I think I'll go with Fredonia and 21-20. It's going to be a close game.
Lackawanna 31-14.
The last time these two teams played, 2008, right here at the stadium, Lackawanna won that one. I'm going to say they win this one too, but it's going to be close, 30-28. So that will do it for us. We're going to take it. If you're watching on the NFHS Network, we're going to take a break. It'll be Joe Kraus, Jim Crank on the call. If you're watching on Western New York Athletics, they'll be on the call. Now, you can't watch on WNY Athletics. You can hear the audio, but you can't watch. So if you want to watch it, go to the NFHS Network. Subscribe there. You'll get this game. You get all the games this weekend and the entire state postseason. But for Paul Catrona, Jim Craig, Tim Chifa, I'm Francis Beck. Stay tuned for the Class C Section 6 Championship. Check.
Check.
Yeah.
Check.
At this time, the officials will meet with the teams along the sideline and the captains at midfield. The New York State Public High School Athletic Association requires official students to enforce sportsmanship rules for athletes, coaches, and spectators. We will not tolerate negative statements or actions between opposing players, especially trash talking, taunting, or baseball.
And we welcome you to Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, the home of the Buffalo Bills, and for the next 48 hours, the home of various teams in Section 6 football. We are with the Class C finals tonight. on the NFHS network. The number 2 seed Lackawanna Steelers 10-0 overall, taking on the 5 seed Fredonia Hillbillies, coming into tonight's matchup with a 9-1 record. Hi everybody, along with my color guy, the former coach Jim Clank, I'm Joe Kraus. We have Colin Wood on the sidelines as well. And Jim, just looking out here in the open bleachers, close to 100,000 fans every single Sunday cheering on the Bills, and now it's transformed into the biggest coliseum that these high school teams are going to have. As a former coach yourself out in Southern Maryland, what's it like just trying to prepare your team for these types of sectional championships?
Thanks for having me. It's extremely exciting time for students, faculty, and staff. It's a crazy time for coaches and players. You're trying to squeeze in as much film time just so you know your opponent, and you're also trying to get players on the same page, depending on what kind of attack your game plan is going to have. It's total chaos, but once the game's there, it's out of their control. They step onto the sideline and let the players handle it.
We'll take a look at our officiating crew for tonight. The referee, Ken Eddings, the umpire, Tony LaCastro, the linesman, Joe Pyrolski, the line judge, Scott Van Stee, and the back judge is Mr. Pat Shepard. Again, we're broadcasting this game for you on the NFHS network. We do have a audio stream only, just so our faces of Joe and Jim up here in the Van Miller broadcast booth on our Twitter page, WNY Athletics. But if you'd like to watch the game with the full action on the field, we ask you to please subscribe to the NFHS Network, NFHSnetwork.com, and there's also the mobile app. So we're just about ready for the Fredonia-Lackawanna kickoff. For Fredonia, it is head coach Greg Sherlock. The Hillbillies coming off a big 29-22 victory over top seed Medina last Friday at Veterans Memorial Park in Medina. The Medina fans were shocked. Fredonia took a nearly 2-hour bus ride to Medina for the victory. And for Lackawanna, their head coach Adam Tardif, a graduate from the class of 1993, 60 wins overall. And the Steelers have just continued to roll, coming off a 24-6 victory over Salamanca. So we'll get into the starting lineups. We'll talk about what Jim really wants to talk about, the battle of the trenches between the two teams, in just a moment. Fredonia will receive, to start this contest, just a beautiful facility here at Orchard Park, Highmark Stadium, the home of the Buffalo Bills. Again, we're coming to you from the Van Miller broadcast booth, named after the iconic Buffalo Bills broadcaster. And we are underway. Well, line drive, taking a couple bounces and stopping about the Fredonia 22-yard line. So let's get into your concern tonight, what you're looking at, Jim, the battle of the trenches between Lackawanna and Fredonia.
Yeah, there's an old saying in football that he who controls the line controls the game. So it'll be anxious to see if the offensive line can protect their quarterback and open up running lanes, and see if the defensive line can disrupt. And I'm anxious to watch both sides of the ball here.
So Fredonia will start this drive, 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line. Ethan Fry, one of the top quarterbacks in Section 6 this season, tied for the lead in passing touchdowns heading into this weekend. He has number 22, Micah Davis, a good hybrid running back wide receiver, had over 100 yards receiving and rushing combined in the victory against Medina last week. But let's see how Fredonia does. Undefeated, 10-0. This is a rematch of the 2008 Class B Section 6 title. The Steelers defeat the Hillbillies 28-10. Here's the snap, 1st down, right to Micah Davis. He tries to go, and he is stuffed right away. Lackawanna running a 4-3 defense. And on the first play, Jim, the defense wins the battle inside.
Yep. Defensive tackles collapsed down. Didn't have much of a difficult time, but one of the things that Fredonia is doing is poking and prodding. They're trying to see where they can have success, and didn't happen on that play.
Lackawanna running a 4-3 defense tonight. Fry looks to his left. The pass outside is caught by Keegan Whitfield. Gets about 3 yards before being pushed out of bounds. About a 3-yard gain brought down by Ashlyn Alexander Hall, the senior free safety. They'll bring up 3rd, and we'll call it 7.
Yeah, Fredonia going a little bit of hurry up here, a little bit of tempo, trying to get those the D linemen gassed a little bit. And also that's another way to protect your line, is to get the ball out fast.
4-receiver formation. The pass, it is incomplete. Looks like for Whitfield again, so that hurry-up offense leading to a 3-and-out.
Yeah, I think the quarterback just a little mistiming there. Might be a little case of nerves, but this is the main stage, so that's to be expected.
So Owen Rush, number 70, getting ready to point for the Hillbillies. Point high in the air. Take a couple bounces, and it will stop inside the 20-yard line. This is where Lackawanna and their star quarterback, Billy Gachel, leading the way for the Steelers, tied for third among all Section 6 quarterbacks in passing touchdowns. 24 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions, nearly 1,400 yards passing. And Lancaster has some weapons on the outside, too.
Yeah, we'll see how they use them. Both teams have studied a significant amount of film, and they have a game plan going in, and we'll see what Lackawanna's is.
Looking in the backfield, Amir Douglas, a sophomore. A junior, Antoine Threets, number 8, and Shamar Ware, number 21, a fullback senior. Really the heavy core. Lackawanna's outscored their opponents this season 160-33, and they'll start their opening drive tonight at Orchard Park on their own 20. Here's the snap. Gachel looking, keeping his eyes downfield, scrambling out, still on his feet, gets some open room down to the 30, still on his feet past the 40, and then he is hit hard from behind by Sammy Azrael, the top tackler for Fredonia, but making something out of nothing, Billy Gachel.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication on the outside. It looked like a pump and go, and the quarterback did some things that you have to do in these kind of games, make people miss.
Billy Gachel, 24 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns for his senior campaign. Gain of 26, 1st and 10 now on the Lackawanna 46-yard line. Just over 4 minutes into the opening quarter. You can see Ashlyn Alexander Hall, the lone receiver on the far side of the field. Lackawanna continuing to the ground game. And a couple yards on the play. And a big hit, looks like, from Dobby White, number 23. Fredonia running a 4-4 defense tonight.
Yeah, it looked like Lackawanna's lining up in a heavy bunch, which means they basically have 7 offensive linemen out there, and they just ran right behind them. So they're poking and prodding as well. They're trying to see how Fredonia is going to adjust to that, and then they'll adjust to that.
See on the left side of the offensive line, the brothers, Sunday and Sam Ikegwanalu for the Steelers. Call it 2nd and 7 near midfield. Gachel, halfback pass to the outside. And able to break away for minimal gain for the Hillbillies. Looks like it was Antoine Threes on the reception. So we have 2nd down coming up.
So we had Diamond right there. And what coaches are looking for is numbers. They're counting their numbers versus the defensive numbers, and they had 4 versus 2 over there. And if Fredonia continues to line up like that, expect that to happen over and over again. But that was a great tackle by Fredonia.
3rd and 6 coming up for the Steelers. Right at midfield, no score, early stages of the first quarter. You could see briefly Adam Tardif on the sideline. He knows what it's like to find success late in the postseason. Here's a hit off to Threes, bumps off a couple men, and then stopped just shy of the 45-yard line. Sammy Azarol with his 2nd tackle of the night. So it's going to bring up 4th, and we'll call it 4 here, Jim.
Yeah, and you saw again, they went behind that heavy bunch to the left-hand side. This last time they ran straight at it. This time they tossed to it. So they're going to play with that a little bit and see if they have success. But what you had in that situation was the defensive lineman made a great play to shed his block. We call it shock and shed. Get off your block, make the tackle, and he did that.
And you could see the rest of the offensive line for Lackawanna. Joe Acevedo, the junior center. Rayshawn Haley, the junior right guard. And Joe Kingsley, the senior right tackle. 4th and 2. A high snap, but there were whistles, a timeout called by Lackawanna, their first of the evening.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Lackawanna this year, so I don't know if these sets are new or part of their offense. Sometimes when you have games like this, you put in new formations and run old plays out of new formations. So there was a little miscommunication on the formation, and thankfully the Lackawanna coach called a timeout because that could have gotten bad.
4th and 2 for Lackawanna, 8:43 left in the first quarter. Just getting started here in quarter number 1 on the NFHS Network. Taking a look at the latest rankings from Class C. Lackawanna was ranked number 4 in the latest rankings for the New York State Sports Writers Association. That came out on November 9th. Fredonia was ranked number 7. So, as you can see, early on, 2 of the top 10 teams in New York State for Class C going head-to-head.
Yep, and we're starting to see how the game plan is unfolding. And both of these teams are very well coached, so I'm looking forward to see what happens further in the first half and then especially out of halftime.
4th and 2 for the Steelers. The Hillbillies 46. They go to the ground game, and getting balled up was Amir Douglas, and a big turnover downs forced by the Fredonia defense. Peyton Gladney fired up for Fredonia.
A heck of a play by the defensive lineman here. You're going to see him get penetration and then one-on-one tackle. This is what it's about. Sometimes you got to make people miss. Sometimes you got to make a tackle. Great call on the outside. That looks like a safety coming down, unaccounted for by the offensive line.
So a 3 and out, and then a turnover on downs to start the Class C finals for Section 6 football here in 2022. The winner of this contest will head on to play at Batavia High School next Saturday, a noon kickoff against East Rochester, Granada, or Attica. That contest for Section 5 going on this Saturday. Ethan Fry through the air, down the sideline. The pass is almost caught. Going down the sideline, just in the hands of Jay Hawk, but great coverage coming from the secondary. Looks like Shaheem Smalls, number 2. Jim, just look at this play once again.
A great protection. All offensive linemen held the ground. Referees allowed a little bit of hand fighting there. Went off the hands. Probably should have brought it down, but we see what they're thinking. They're going to exploit some matchups. Lackawanna is showing no deep, or the safeties are 7 yards off the line of scrimmage, so expect to see that again maybe.
2nd and 10, pass outside, this time complete to Keegan Whitfield. He crosses the 45, gets a good gain. Keegan Whitfield in the right slot once again for Coach Sherlock's offense. Whitfield now with 62 catches on the season, 6 touchdowns, to just 3 behind Jameson Quinn to lead the team. So 1st and 10 now at the Lackawanna 44. Just over 8 minutes left to play in quarter number 1. Quick pass again to Whitfield. That seems to be the hot hand so far, Jim.
Yeah, quick passes on the outside. Tom Brady's going to the Hall of Fame for that route. Right there, just get the ball, catch, throw, 5-yard out. If you get 5 yards per play, you're going places.
2nd and 5 coming up on the Steelers 38. Quick handoff to Davis, gets a couple of yards, just shy, Lackawanna 35. So it's going to bring about 3rd and a long 2.
So you're seeing Lackawanna's defense stand pat. They're not bringing in blitzes. They're trying to get home with the front 4. They're having success on the run, plugging up that middle and getting off their blocks. But pass rush has been a different story.
3rd and 3 for Fredonia. Lined up at the Lackawanna 35.
So now you're getting Fredonia is making a call based on the way Lackawanna lines up. There's nobody deep. This is called cover 0, and you could see a shot downfield.
Let's see a short shot indeed to Whitfield. It up for the first down, past the Lackawanna 30. Whitfield and Fry establishing that chemistry like they have all season right here tonight.
Yep. I think that play's called sticks. Run to the sticks, turn around. And they're executing real well on the outside, and quarterback is delivering the ball on time and with precision.
6-yard hookup, fresh set down, 1st and 10 at the Lackawanna 30 for Fredonia. Fry in the shotgun. Stepping up, avoids the pressure, moves with his legs to his left, and gets a couple of yards on the play from the 27-yard line. He's then brought down by the Lackawanna defense. Couple of yards, 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, that was 4 verticals. They're going after it. They're seeing no safeties deep. Favorite play with that, 4 verticals. Just stack your man. Get the receiver over the top of the defensive back and pick your matchup. But we'll see if Lackawanna sticks in it.
2nd and 8 at the Steelers' 28-yard line. Fry with the snap over the middle, and the pass is caught. Hanging on for the catch, Brandon Rotsky with a big touchdown last week against Medina, moving the chains there.
Yeah, one of the things, you have a really strong-armed quarterback. you got to have sure-handed receivers. When that quarterback's whipping vapor trails, these receivers, they know what they're doing. They've been catching these balls for years probably, but I'm very impressed with how they catch that ball when he throws it really hard.
1st and 10 at the Lackawanna 20. Just over 6 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Hillbillies go to the ground game with Davis, but he is quickly brought down by a host of Steelers. Shamar Ware, give the credit to him and a host of his teammates on the stop. Minimal gain on the play for Lackawanna, for Fredonia, bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, they're having no success on the run game. Lackawanna is shedding those blocks, those offensive linemen on the run game. When it comes down to
2nd and 10. Fry on his back foot, flurry towards the end zone. The pass is incomplete. Looking on the far side, this time for Jameson Quinn, the team leader in touchdowns this season so far. 9 touchdowns, just couldn't connect that time. They'll bring up 3rd and 10 at the Lackawanna 20. Third and 10. Let's see what they do here, Jim. Here is the snap. Going on the far side into the corner, 1-on-1 to Jay Hogg. The pass is incomplete. Dangerous from the secondary once again. Jeremy Perez, that's twice on this drive. And now likely the field goal unit coming out.
Yeah, they're testing them deep. They like what they're seeing. Maybe some post routes will help those receivers, showing a hard vertical stem and then planting and cut across on the 90 or on the 45. We'll see if they can do something like that, but well defended there by the defensive back from Lackawanna.
Well, looks like Coach Greg Sherlock is keeping his offense out there. Why not? They were able to convert a 4th down a couple of times last week. 4th and 10 at the Lackawanna 20. Fry stepping up, moving to his left. Fry throwing up a prayer to the end zone. It is incomplete. He was looking for Whitfield, but tight defense broken up by Ashland Alexander Hall. A 3-and-out for Fredonia after a very impressive drive, Jim. 5:16 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice drive. Defensive ends really got home on that one, forced the quarterback up. He had to make a play, and it looks like they got a spy for him. As soon as he approached the line of scrimmage, you saw a linebacker firing up. So they might be covering hard cover with the spy. So
still no score. A 3-and-out starting out for Fredonia. Then each team exchanging a 3-and-out. Lackawanna will start again with their star quarterback, Billy Gachel. 1st and 10 on their own 20. Thank you all again for joining us tonight. The Section 6 Class C Finals on the NFHS Network. Going to the ground game, and he is brought up right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, both these defensive line have been impressive so far. Anchoring down, sitting in their gaps, and then getting off their blocks and making the tackle. Not much other than the scramble. Not much on the ground available for either team.
As we mentioned, Fredonia on a 4-4 set tonight. Left to right on the defensive line. Mike Riddle, 230. Simon Price, 230. Ian Story, a 260-pound sophomore. And Owen Rush, the other defensive end on the right side, 6', 280-pound junior, applying that pressure. 2nd and 10 at the Lackawanna 20. Gachel takes the snap. Rolling up, trying to set up their chin again. He's brought down. A big bear hug coming from Sammy Ezero. A big sack from the Hillbillies.
Yeah, great play. Both these defensive lines have came to play. Nowhere to go. Coverage downfield. D-line, keep working. Get to the ball, make the tackle.
5-yard loss as a result. As we mentioned, Ezero, he recorded his 100th tackle of the season last week against Medina. He's at least over 110 now. And here come Steelers once again trying to figure things out. 3rd and 15 on their own 15. The crowd is fired up. Got a lot of fans from Fredonia right now standing. Gachel over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. A good arc, just a little too high that time for looking on the outside to looks like number 2 of Lackawanna. And here comes the punt unit once again. Shaheem Small is the intended receiver.
Yeah, great play by that safety to come over the top. Looks like they're in a cover one, which means one safety deep, everybody else in man-to-man. And that free safety's job is just to read the eyes of the quarterback. And sometimes it's hard to get in the right place at the right time, but he was there.
Billy Gashel, also the team punter for Lackawanna, standing on his own 4-yard line. Lackawanna going right to left in this quarter. Gashel with a high punt. The up man receives it at the 45, and a big hit from Lackawanna on special teams. So Fredonia will take things over. Good field position once again with 3:31 left in quarter number 1.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see your gunner's gun, and it looked like one of the gunners kind of over-pursued and forced him in, and the other gunner was right on the money.
So here comes Fredonia once again. Ball spotted on the 43-yard line of Lackawanna. First and 10 coming up. So far, no score. Fredonia had a great opportunity last drive, but it ended at the 20. Now here's Davis right up the middle, close to the Lackawanna 30. A big run to start this drive, Jim.
So you saw a nice adjustment. Fredonia going trips, and then the run into the trip side because they got them spread out over there. Lackawanna had to walk one out. That's one less in the box. Nice gain.
All the way up to the 33-yard line. Another snap, another handoff to Davis, doing a little dance to the outside. It stopped at the 28-yard line. Smalls on the tackle for the Steelers. But a 5-yard gain. The clock continues to wind down. Under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. They just went. It looks like the quarterback has a read option. So if the defensive end on the opposite side gives him a pull read, he's going to pull it and be off to the races. But he gave it on that one. Almost the same play as last time. Almost same result.
2nd and 4 now at the Lackawanna 27-yard line. Another good 6-yard hookup that time from Davis. Ethan Fry looks over to the sidelines to Coach Sherlock. Now he looks at his play sheet on his wrist, and we're ready to go. Here's the snap. Fry through traffic, scrambling. Still, he gets the ball away. It's incomplete. It's going to be a penalty against Fredonia. Intentional grounding, perhaps.
Yeah, so what you saw there is you saw Lackawanna show blitz. And Lackawanna show blitz. Fredonia audibled. Lackawanna checked out of the blitz, and quarterback didn't know what to do. That's great coaching right there. That's one of the adjustments that you probably saw. They probably picked up in game is if they see the quarterback making a change when Lackawanna shows blitz, they're going to check out of that blitz and go back to a base coverage. And that worked perfectly. They got an intentional grounding because the quarterback did not see what he expected to see and what they audibled to.
So now bring up 3rd and a country mile for Fredonia. Spotted on the 47-yard line of Lackawanna. 2:15 left to play in the first quarter. Limiting penalties was something that Coach Sherlock has told us the past couple weeks in order to have this success that they've had. 9-1 overall. Fry on the run, throwing up a big shot downfield. And it is incomplete, just through the hands of Whitfield. Tight coverage on the near side of the field. They'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and I think the quarterback was just a tiny bit late here. He had him stacked. If he lets the ball go now, he's in good shape. But it turned into a really long throw. He had to get a lot under it, and then a little bit off target. They think that ball was out of bounds. But a great series by the Lackawanna defense, especially seeing that they're going to check out of a blitz, especially if there's an audible. So we'll see what happens going forward.
So a 3rd drive now for Fredonia. 3 and out, turnover on downs, and a 3 and out. Here's Owen Rush. Big booming point. Taking a bounce. Side the 3, and then going into the end zone for a touchback. 1:57 left to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, excited to see the defensive line again here. They made a lot of great plays last time, forced Fredonia into a 3rd and long, and the safety made a great play last series. So let's see what Lackawanna does to adjust. I wouldn't mind seeing them go back to that heavy bunch. They had success there. Keep going after that.
As we said, Lackawanna has outscored their opponents 10-0 on the season. They've outscored their opponents 160 to 33 so far this season. Their last shutout, their lone shutout of the season was against JFK, 42-0 win back on October 8th. But again, only allowed just 33 points here in 2022. Here come the Steelers. Billy Cashel, a handoff to the right side, making his way along the sideline and getting his way past the 40, close to the 45. A big run coming from Antoine Threets.
So they spread them out, and then they probably went to see what they could do from an offensive standpoint. That's a nice power play. You had 2 pulling linemen. First one kicks out, second one leads up through the hole, and that was executed perfectly.
Gain of 22 on the last carry. 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line for Lackawanna. 90 seconds left in quarter number 1 of the Section 6 Football Class C Finals. Handoff once again to the right side. Threets looking again to be the ball carrier, but we do have a flag on the field.
Yeah, basic dive play. Looks like they're going to try to spread them out and make that front work.
Waiting for the call from Ken Eddings, our referee. It is a holding penalty called against Lackawanna. So after that big run to start this drive, they'll be back now on their own 33-yard line.
Yeah, so D-line is making their mark, right? Offensive line is starting to get winded. We're starting to get late into the first quarter. If you can't win your battle, sometimes you resort to holding.
Clock continuing to wind down, approaching the final minute. Pitch to the outside. This is Threets on the carry, getting a couple yards, and then stopped by Fredonia's defense, brought down by 3 defenders that time.
Yep, heavy bunch, toss behind the heavy bunch. The halfback just not very assertive there, just kind of a little too patient. I think the blocks were engaged. If he hits that a little faster, he can have a little more success.
Ball spotted now on the 37-yard line. Last 30 seconds of quarter number 1. No score still. And it looks like we have a delay of game penalty.
Too many men?
Yes.
Yeah, too many men.
So with the too many men penalty, that's the second penalty of this drive alone for Lackawanna. We're getting some more clarification from our officiating crew this evening.
Yeah, not sure about the count. I think they're checking to see if anybody went off the field after the flag was thrown. They might be picking it up here. Yep. Miscount. Some of those players are so big down there they could count as 2 players, so totally understand. It's all right. That's a great call by referee. He saw it, made a mistake, and waved off the flag. Great job.
So last 10 seconds of the first quarter. Cashel in the shotgun, going out of 5 seconds. You can see the time clearly on the Giant scoreboard here. At high mark, Cashel now getting pressured through the traffic, still on his feet, throws it up, and the pass is incomplete to conclude the first quarter play of the Section 6 Class C Finals. Big roll on hand from the Fredonia faithful, the defense doing their job with Lackawanna. As we have a scoreless first quarter, we do have a flag though, however, on the field.
Looking like holding.
So winding down in the first quarter. It's going to be second and long coming up. Now we're still confused if
Might be one untimed down because there was a penalty on the last play. I'm not sure the referees understand what. That's
interesting to see what the call will be.
looks like one untimed down.
So Lackawanna will get this play off. The clock is flashing zeros. Gashel in the shotgun. Lackawanna goes to the ground game once again down the sideline. Amir Douglas this time with a big carry past the 30-yard line. And that will conclude our first quarter of action tonight from Highmark Stadium. Lackawanna and Fredonia, no score through the first quarter of play. And we will now send it down to our sideline man, Jake Flyock. Jake.
So, guys, we know that Lackawanna is having a challenge here tonight at Highmark Stadium for the Class C against Fredonia, but there has well, Caleb Kingsley, we did a story on him about a couple months ago as he was able to beat Hodgkin's lymphoma, a form of lymphoma and a form of cancer. Now, he was diagnosed with that about a couple years ago, which sidelined him for some of the sophomore and junior season. But he was able to come back before the start of the season, able to put the pads on, get going on practice, and get going on the field as well. Now, with that being said, you know, what made this interesting for Caleb Kingsley is what he said, saying that it wasn't that bad when he was going through chemotherapy. I don't know what else you could say. If that's not the definition of Kelly Tough, I don't know what is. He isn't playing also right now due to a knee injury, but he's out there on his team and cheering on. Jim Craig, Joe Kraus, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jake Flagg. Welcome back to the second quarter. Joe Kraus and Jim Clank with you on the call from Highmark Stadium. No score. Jim, what did you notice from that first quarter? Very back and forth, a lot of empty drives.
Yeah, defense making their mark on both sides, both teams. Let's see if these offenses can get going.
So Lackawanna continuing their drive. They're going to call 3rd and 16 on their own 36. Gashel rolling out to his right, looking downfield. The pass is caught to Shamir Smalls, but we do have a flag near the line of scrimmage, and it will go against Lackawanna. Just their third flag here, Jim, in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it's it just shows that there's some one-on-one battles that are getting lost down there, and sometimes when that happens, you get that's the only way to make the play happen is to hold. And referees are right on it. They keep calling that flag, and just going to have to move the feet. A lot of times you in these situations, moving their feet get slow because they're tired. It's been a long week for them. The feet get slow, so the hands get fast, feet get slow.
So this will be pitting the Steelers all the way back now to their 24-yard line. Going to be 3rd and long for Lackawanna.
Yeah, this puts them in a tough
Rematch.
spot. A lot of times you can have situations here where they try to bite off more than they can chew, and a turnover occurs.
As we said, a rematch of the 2008 Class B title. The last time the Steelers won a sectional title. Fredonia looking for their first title in Section 6 since 2010. And another flag, more movement, offside against the Steelers.
Yeah, now it's coming down to a composure thing. You just gotta roll with the punches rather than react to the punches. If you start reacting to them, then you're slow with the calls. You're slow with the thought process. You just gotta let them roll off their back, especially in a game of this magnitude. It's very easy to get caught up in the emotion and get frustrated, but you just gotta roll. You keep rolling with those punches. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be penalties. There's gonna be turnovers. You just gotta roll with it.
So 3rd and 24 now for Lackawanna on their own 18-yard line. Still no score. 3 and out. Pressures early on, and Gashel gets hit from behind. No indication the ball was loose, but making his name known, Matt Cash, number 58, the middle linebacker and senior for the Hillbillies.
Yeah, Fredonia's defensive line is just smelling the blood now. They're coming hard. Yeah, that was just a Mike blitz. They went three down linemen, blitzed one Mike backer through an uncovered gap, overloaded three defenders to their 2 offensive players, and they got home.
So 4th down coming up. The punt unit is out for the Steelers. I want to bring up 4th and 36 on their own 16. Here's Gashel with a short punt. Take a couple bounces. Doesn't even get to Whitfield. It's stopped by a Steeler. And here comes Fredonia once again, Jim. 10:58 left to play in the second quarter. If you're an offensive coach, if you're Coach Sherlock, how do you try to take advantage of this such short field here?
Well, you can take a shot right out of the gate, or you can just try to do slow and methodical. I think they had something last time when they went trips to one side and then ran to that side. They had a walked-out defender, and maybe they were just misaligned inside, so maybe they go back to that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It looks like Fredonia's captured some momentum, especially with the defense pushing them back and a bad punt.
So the ball is officially spotted on the 36-yard line of Fredonia. 10:58 left in the first half, and we are still scoreless. The Warrior moves on to the Far West Regionals held in Batavia next weekend. Ethan Fry on the QB keeper goes to the right side, gets a couple yards, go right behind Owen Rush, the right tackle, Tyler Coosdale, the right guard, keeping the chains moving. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, so they tried to get the linebackers into flow. They showed that run behind the trips, and the quarterback kept it. I think they were anticipating the linebackers would overrun it.
2nd and 7 coming up on the Steelers' 33-yard line. Good crowd on hand for the Class C finals. Here's the handoff to Micah Davis on the right side. He is stopped immediately. A big-time stop from Shenandoah's Ware, number 50, right in the middle for Lackawanna.
Yep, defensive line doing their jobs. And it looked like Fredonia elected to go slow and methodical. 3rd and about 7. These are tough to convert. So I'd expect this ball up in the air. And again, they're still showing no deep. So let's see if Lackawanna brings pressure here.
Last time the Hillbillies were this close, the drive stalled at the 20. Let's see, a pass is outside completed to Brandon Rotsky, but we do have a flag on the field. Fredonia trying to go to the right side this time with Ethan Fry's pass, but a penalty called against the Hillbillies, and this will negate, which was a pretty decent play.
Yeah, chop block, unfortunate. The Lackawanna brought 6. They brought their 2 outside backers. I'm not sure what happened as far as the chop block, but that's going to push them back. And we've seen these offenses go backward more than we've seen them go forward. So some adjustments got to be made at halftime, or just kind of calming the nerves.
Big crowd on hand. Really good night for November 10th in Western New York. Clear skies in Orchard Park, so at a high of 59. Fans from Fredonia and Lackawanna cheering on their teams. A good crowd on hand in the lower bowl.
Yeah, it's always good to see. It's always such an event, even if especially for a Thursday night. They don't have to wait till Friday, but looks like both schools got a great turnout, and good to see.
Big weekend on hand for football. Coming away at halftime, Francis Beck and our panel will break down the first half of this game as well as the rest of the games to come. Class A, Jamestown, Williamsville North coming up at 9 o'clock tonight. Class B and AA tomorrow. But here's Fry scrambling on the run to the right side, crossing the 40 to get a good chunk of about 8. It's going to bring up, we'll say, 4th and 14. Obviously, Jim, not the drive that Fredonia was looking for after having really good yards to start.
Yeah, it looked like he had the protection, and it looked like they had a vertical on the outside, and he had the time, just chose not to go with it. Better to protect the ball, but looks like they're going for it here on 4th.
4th and 14 on the Lackawanna 40. Under 10 minutes to play. Ethan Fry making his way slowly, just double checking with Greg Sherlock. And as a result, a timeout called from the Hillbillies. 9:43 left to play in the second quarter. We'll be back with more after this short break on the NFHS Network. .9:43 left in the second quarter. Joe Kraus, Jim Klink, Jake Fyack on the sideline site. Our entire crew joining you from the Van Miller broadcast booth at Highmark Stadium, the home of the Buffalo Bills. The Bills taking on the Vikings this Sunday, the 1 p.m. kickoff. Well wishes out to Josh Allen, of course. Who knows, maybe he's watching our broadcast right now on the NFHS Network. So after the timeout from Greg Sherlock, Owen Rush has come out for the punt. High punt this time into the deep night. Take a couple bounces. Almost deflected back in by the Hillbillies, Peyton Glavy, but it is a touchback and Lackawanna back to work.
Great play there. Almost made it. He can even stand in the end zone and knock it out, but that ball just cannot cross that goal line. But what we're seeing here is defenses are winning. Too bad both teams can't send their defenses to the next round because they'd win. But it's somebody's going to break through. Somebody's going to make a play, and I anticipate that happening relatively soon here. But let's see what the strategies are.
So Lackawanna still scoreless. Again, they've outscored their opponents this season 160-33. I'm still waiting our first score for tonight. Setting a motion man, the Steelers go to the ground game, minimal game. Azra, the first defender for Fredonia once again.
Yeah, they're outnumbered down there, especially when you got your spread formation. You got 4 down linemen, you got 2 linebackers, and you give it the ball off. Fredonia wins 6-5. So I don't. It's kind of futile to do that over and over, but we'll see. We'll see if they're trying to just maybe one matchup they see along that line that they can create a crease.
Officially no gain on the last carry. Second down on the 20-yard line. Actually, they give him a cut of 1. Second and 9 on the 21-yard line. Just under 9 minutes left to play in the first half. Gashel in a shotgun, 1 man in the backfield. Gashel looks downfield, rolls to his right, pointing to his man, fires up a pass that is caught by Shaheem Smalls past the 40-yard line, and a big first down play coming up for Lackawanna.
Yeah, great play here. Quarterback improvised a little bit, didn't get anything off his first read. Followed his running back out the outside. Running back sealed down. Might have been a hold there, but yeah, receivers got open, scramble drill. Big gain, biggest gain of the game, and that's what happens. Sometimes it just bogs down until something breaks.
Gain of 21. Shaheem Smalls with a team high 10 touchdowns so far this season for the Steelers. Lackawanna, the gray helmets, the classic dark blue uniforms, first and 10 on the 42-yard line for the Steelers. Handoff going to the right side, making some moves, making the big run down the sidelines. Antoine Threets with a big carry for Lackawanna.
Another big play. You got big lineman pulling. First lineman kicks out the end. Second lineman up through the hole. Great speed by that lineman. He got up that hole fast, and that running back did not have to slow down at all. Great play. Power play. Basic football that goes back up to old school Green Bay Packers right there.
All the way to the Fredonia 33-yard line. Lackawanna spinning their legs just a little bit here on this drive. Michelle takes the snap. Steelers going right up the middle. And it looks like number 9, Kingston Alexander Hall on the last carry for the Steelers. Get a couple of yards, under 8 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, I wonder if the coaches challenged their offensive line at some point, because now they are just winning battles. They are beating up their man to try to make some room. They had a nice 7-yard gain there, but he just went straight downhill, and offensive lineman won. So you're seeing a nice power struggle, and kind of what we thought going into this game is how would the lines hold up against each other. And so you can see the Fredonia coach down there pretty animated, because that's what you got to do is you got to get fired up, you got to get emotional, and you got to win your battles. And on that last play, you saw Lackawanna's offensive line win their battles.
You can see this is a family affair for Fredonia. We have Justin, who is the varsity quarterback coach, and Jordan is the defensive coordinator. You're taking a look, though, right now at Lackawanna, just that three-headed duo. We have an injured player, and we will step aside. More after this break. So we had an injured player for Lackawanna. We'll try to find out who it was when we can. But 2nd and 4 for the Steelers. Availability 27. Gashel going to the right side. Over the arc. The pass is caught and into the end zone for the touchdown. The Steelers strike first. Ashlyn Alexander Hall from Billy Gashel from 27 yards out.
Yeah, nice little mock post. Let's see where he goes. If he heads inside, making it look like a post, and then pop that, post corner route. Excellent timing, excellent execution, and that's what we saw. We saw 3 big plays happen on that drive, and good for Lackawanna. That's excellent fortitude, especially when things were really bad the last 2 drives. They stuck with it, made a few adjustments into the game plan, and then executed well.
Lackawanna, as we mentioned, ranked 4th in the latest Class C rankings from the New York State Sports Writers Association. Steelers trying to go for 2. Gashel on the run, throwing it up, getting the pass to the back line. It's good. A 2-point pass play, this time caught by number 2 of Lackawanna, Shaheem Smalls, and the Steelers lead 8-0. 7:39 left in the second quarter. Let's take a look once again.
Watch the far receiver. It might even be the tight end. Let's see who it is. Yeah. Tight end just running the cross route, gets to the back of the end zone. Great execution. He was probably the only one on that side that could have caught that ball.
So 7:39 left in the first half. We have our first score of the evening from Ashlyn Alexander Hall, a 27-yard catch from Billy Gashel. Ashlyn, the older brother of Kingston, who was a sophomore, but Ashlyn Alexander Hall, a senior, 6 foot, 180-pound receiver in corner. And according to our notes, that is Ashlyn's 9th touchdown catch of the season, and at the right time.
Yep. Yeah, and this quarterback seems like he really feels comfortable throwing on the run. So they had a couple designed rollouts. One he improvised and rolled out, and then it looked like they had 2 designed rollouts for him. But they're starting to get a little bit of a rhythm down there. That was a nice drive, and kudos to the coaching staff to regroup. There was some emotion down there. We saw that. They regrouped, refocused, and executed well all the way down the field. That was impressive.
So Sunday, Lackawanna ready to kick for the Steelers. Now have the 8-0 lead. Fredonia hoping to respond. And a late comeback last weekend did the Hillbillies against Medina. And now on the return for Fredonia, it is Sam Azara crossing the 30 with 7:33 left to play in the first half.
Yeah, let's see how Fredonia responds here. No time to bail on the game plan. I think they can just refocus on the game plan with a little more urgency and working on getting to the sticks. Just move the chains rather than trying to take big chunks, even though the chunks are there if they can get over the top of them.
We welcome you once again to Highmark Stadium at Orchard Park. Joe Kraus, Jim Clake, Jake Fyack on the sidelines, and our entire crew from Highmark Stadium, home of the Buffalo Bills. Lackawanna with an 8-0 lead over Fredonia. You can watch our entire broadcast with game action on the NFHS network. We also have an audio stream only on our social media platforms, including Twitter most notably at WNY Athletics, as Fredonia goes to the ground on first down. Is not enough there that time, Jim.
Yep, quarterback power. Kind of what Lackawanna did last time with the halfback, but the quarterback showed a run action with the halfback to one side, kept the ball with a pull kick, and lead up through the hole. There was just someone got defeated down there and made a great tackle.
About a 2-yard gain. We'll call it 2nd and 8 on the Hillbillies' 36-yard line. Empty backfield for the senior Ethan Fry. Currently tied at the top for passing touchdowns in Section 6. Now Fry on the run, throwing a big deep ball, and the pass is intercepted by Shaheem Smalls. Smalls on the return, crossing the 40, still on his feet at the 45, crossing midfield, still on his way to the Fredonia 45, but we do have a flag on the field at the 36-yard line of Lackawanna. Interesting which way this will go, Jim.
Yeah, this is going to be pass interference for sure. That was, I don't even know, I think it would have been an interception anyway, so that was unnecessary, but that's going to be a big gain for Fredonia.
Looked like Shamar Ware knocked down Micah Davis on the play. As a result, Small's interception is negated. 6:36 left in the first half.
Not sure what's happening here. It looks like they're going back to the original line of scrimmage. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's going to be an automatic first down, and get yards however you can. Move the sticks however you can. I think the quarterback has a little bit of jitters back there because he's getting the protection. The protection is there, and he looks like he's going for quick game. So that means he's going to catch the ball and deliver it quick. But if it's not open, he's got to know what to do with the ball after that. And I'm not sure what they're coached to do, but sometimes when quick game doesn't work, you got to go back to stretching them out.
1st and 10. It is blocked at the line of scrimmage by Amir Douglas. Just with the big vertical, Amir Douglas, 5'9" sophomore, going airborne.
Yeah, that's the probably 5th time they've run that play, and the Lackawanna's starting to be keen on it, especially when they read that quarterback. He's catching the ball, turning, facing the side that he's going to throw to. You can read that and make an athletic play.
Veteran line for Fredonia, going left to right. Matt Cash, a senior. Ian Story, the sophomore left guard. Simon Price is the center junior. Pair of juniors, Tyler Coosdale, Owen Rush on the right side. You can see Rush getting, bigger point, Fry getting pressured, getting the pass to Whitfield. Good defense from Lackawanna.
Yeah, that's a tough play to do on the boundary towards the near sideline. That just turns into a quick out that you end up right on the sideline. So maybe just a misread by the quarterback, but we'll see what happens here.
Got a gain about 1. It's going to bring up 3rd and long now for Fredonia. 6:28 left in the first half. Fry with Davis in the backfield. Fry looking downfield, getting pressure from behind. The ball is loose on the field. Lackawanna indicating they might have it, waiting for the official call, and they do. It is a fumble recovery from the Lackawanna defense. Give credit this time to Sunday Aikwanalu with the big play.
Yeah, looks like they had a blitz on the outside. Watch the outside backer. Defensive end's going to go in. Defensive end in. Outside backer out. Great play. Great play. Great hustle. Great motor and great bend there. That's hard at full speed to kind of plant in the ground and then get around the corner there, but he made a heck of an athletic play, and a defense. Lackawanna definitely has the momentum now.
So after the fumble recovery from Lackawanna, Steelers in good field position, 1st and 10, Fredonia 48. Tailbacks in the backfield, a hand off to the left side. Antoine Freets trying to break through and brought down by a host of Hillbillies.
Yeah, I think that was a backer running free. I don't know if that was a called blitz or he just shot the hole, but that was a great play.
Taking a look at the Fredonia defense, as we mentioned, a 4-4. It's Mike Riddle, Simon Price, Ian Story. Price and Story, the 2 tackles. Owen Rush on the right defensive end. Left to right in the linebacking core, Sammy Azra, number 20. Dobby White, Matt Cash in the middle. Micah Davis on the outside. And then 3 men in the secondary. The corners, Peyton Glavy, and the quarterback, Ethan Fry. Brandon Rotsky up top as the free safety. 2nd and 12. Here come the Steelers. Gashel looking to the right side again. Is caught by Shaheed Smalls, keeping his feet in bounds close to the Fredonia 15-20. Shaheed Smalls, the senior, once again.
Yeah, I think you're seeing Fredonia staying in that cover 1, so you're going to get a lot of crossing routes. You got number 1 on the outside, just ran across the field. Great execution. Just run away from it. If you can get the protection, it's there all day, because it looks like Fredonia does not want to come out of that cover 1, and they probably ran the 3 underneath and then the 1 over top.
Gain of 32 on the last hookup. Gashel to Smalls. The senior teammates looking to bring home a sectional title to Lackawanna for the first time in 14 years. We have a stoppage on the field.
Not sure who called that timeout, but Lackawanna had a win on the outside. They're not lining up correctly to that diamond. They got 2 guys out there. That is a win all day for Lackawanna if they take it.
Still waiting for the call.
Did somebody call timeout? I'm not sure.
Waiting for the call from Ken Eddings, our referee tonight.
Yeah, they got to do something over there, because I guarantee that ball is going to the receiver in the back of the diamond. If they can block that up, they got 3 for 2, or 3 for 3 even.
Looks like our referee Ken Eddings is asking the clock to be reset. And it was to 5:15 left in the first half. Lackawanna already with an 8-0 lead over Fredonia. Lackawanna, the number 2 seed. Fredonia, number 5 in the Section 6 Class C bracket. The winner advances to Far West Regionals next Saturday. Noon kickoff at Batavia High School. Gashel taking a snap, getting pressure by Davis. Gashel steps up, the ball is loose. It is incomplete. The speed from Micah Davis at time, Jim, really hurrying up Gashel.
Yep, and quarterback almost made a mistake, but he grounded that ball and no turnover. But Fredonia's got a hold here. This is big for Fredonia. They got a hold, 2nd and 10. This is going to test your might, test your will. See how Lackawanna attacks this cover 1, because they're not coming out of it.
Just over 5 minutes left to play in the first half. Steelers go to the ground game, a short gain, but we have a flag on the field going against the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't know if they were misaligned or somebody did not get set, but that's here we go. We're familiar with this topic. Offense is going backwards, but big for Fredonia. Opens up a little more space behind them. Sometimes getting into the 15-yard line, the 10-yard line, that can be advantage defense because there's only so much field to defend.
Minor coming up for a halftime break. We'll bring back our panel, Francis Beck, along with his analyst, Tim Chifa, Paul Catrona, Jim Craig, breaking down the first half of this Lackawanna Fredonia contest, as well as a look ahead to our nightcapper coming at 9 o'clock tonight, the Class A Finals. Jamestown Winslow North, a rematch of a Jamestown 35-34 win against the Willow North Spartans way back in Week 4. That should be good, too. We'll look ahead to the games tomorrow as well. Back to the present, 2nd and 15 at the Fredonia 21. Here comes Gashel looking over the middle. The pass is incomplete, just out of the hands of his receiver, and he'll bring up 3rd down.
So you're seeing, if you look on the outside, the corners for Fredonia are hard inside leverage. They are inside leverage by about 2 yards, which means they are about 2 yards closer to the ball than the outside receivers, which opens up a straight vertical lane if they take it. But they may not be taking it. But they could see that post corner route will work all day because that'll push them inside even further on the stem, and then they can kick it back outside. Let's see if they try to attack that here.
3rd and 15. Fredonia fan base fired up. Gashel takes the snap. Moves to his right. A low pass. It is caught. This time by National Alexander Hall, but we have a flag on the field.
Yeah, looks like holding again. Going backwards again. Yeah, I'm too far up to see how egregious those holds are, but it seems like it's happening quite often, and I just don't. If I were closer down, I could see who's getting the hold and how bad it is, but that referee is just making a statement, no holding. So you got to keep your hands inside, you got to keep your elbows tight, and that'll prevent you from getting your hands to the outside. And move your feet. If your feet get tired or your feet get slow, your hands are going to get fast, you're going to lean, you're going to hold.
So now the ball is spotted on the Fredonia 36-yard line. Steelers out facing a 3rd and 25 play right now. You can see just one tailback on the left hip of Billy Gashel. Gashel takes the snap, looks over, going to the left side this time, and the pass is incomplete. Keegan Whitfield on the coverage for Fredonia, breaking up that pass, looking for Ashland Alexander Hall. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, it looks like one of those defensive tackles got home. Didn't allow the quarterback to step into the ball. Still delivered a nice arm ball, but a little bit short, and defensive back for Fredonia made a play. A lot of 3rd and 20s in this game, and that just doesn't help any offense. Helps the defense a lot. But it looks like Lackawanna, who had the rhythm, they had that rhythm going, kind of lost it.
Lackawanna, the offense staying on the field for 12-year coach M. Tardif, but it's a short punt from Gashel.
Wow.
So a little trickery instead. The ball stopping right at the 20-yard line. 4 minutes exactly left in the first half.
Okay. I think they wanted that a little closer to the goal line, but that's sometimes that's hard to execute, asking to catch the ball so quickly and get it off so quickly so it's not blocked. But here we go again. Let's see how Fredonia's got 4 minutes to march down the field, and they really haven't been marching at all. Lackawanna's defense has helped them in check, so let's see what Fredonia can pull.
Again, a reminder coming up at halftime, our crew, Francis Beck, leading our halftime show tonight. Tim Chifa, Paul Latrona, Jim Craig breaking down the first half and more. Again, that'll be our halftime show presented by A-Turf, Howard Hanna Real Estate, WNY Immediate Care, and Logistics Plus. Coming up after our first half. Fredonia trying to get on the board. It is nearly intercepted by Ashland Alexander Hall. Right through his hands.
Yeah, he read that. He saw that pre-snap. This is probably something you pick up on film, especially with quick game. Quarterback dictates a lot right away. And yeah, he saw that coming. That could have easily been 6. But sometimes you got special plays for these special games, and now would be a good time, a good down and distance if you got one, but not sure.
Looks like he was trying to move before he made the catch. Meanwhile, Fry with a deep ball down the sideline. It is caught by the Hillbilly. Jameson Quinn going into the end zone for the touchdown. Man, oh man, Ethan Fry to Jameson Quinn from 80 yards out.
What a play.
Big arc indeed from Ethan Fry.
Yeah, he got the protection, and with no safeties, Lackawanna's just asking for that. And you do it enough times, you're going to get it. So they got it. No safety deep, no help, one-on-one. Defender fell down, and receiver made it. Sometimes those are the most difficult catches when you're wide open and you got 6 in the bag if you can just reel it in. But he made a great catch, and it was kind of awkward. He had to reach up over his helmet and made a great catch. And here we go, a brand new game. And those are the things that can happen in games like this.
You certainly said it, Jim. Just one play can tip the scales of an entire game. That was Jameson Quinn's 10th touchdown catch of the season. maybe the big one of his Fredonia career, as the Steelers are denied the 2-point conversion on the ground. 3:40 left in the first half. Lackawanna now leads Fredonia 8-6 in the Class C finals.
Yeah, that's I don't quite understand that one. They packed everybody in and then just went right at them straight ahead. Tough call, tough play. Lackawanna just made a great play. Now we got a 2-point game. But going back to that last play, the line held their own. It looked like there was no pressure on the call, no blitz called, and quarterback got off a heck of a ball, and receiver made a heck of a play. Like I said, sometimes those ones where you're wide open and no one's around you in a sectional final game can be the hardest to catch. But he brought it in, so we got a brand new ball game.
Jamison Quinn, just a junior, so he'll be back next season for the Hillbillies. 9-1 so far on the season. Team leader with 10 touchdowns, as we said. And really, the only underclassman in this offensive unit, on the outside rather, the receiving core for Ethan Fry. Brandon Ronsky, a senior. Jay Hawk, a senior. Keegan Whitfield, a top playmaker, most catches on the team, and near the top for Section 6, also a senior. But as we've said, and you've seen this plenty of times, Jim, it's at times the underclassmen that make the big plays when nobody really expects it.
Yep, and he will be the first kid in the weight room when this season ends. I promise you that. Ready for the next year.
Calder and ear on the kick this time for the Hillbillies. A man to the outside for Lackawanna. Man on the loose, Jeremy Perez with a good return close to the 30. And Lackawanna will come out to try to respond.
Yeah, Fredonia had 4 minutes on the last drive. They used 18 seconds. So Lackawanna's got 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And they have that big playability. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll watch the corners now. How much do they give? How much are they? You're definitely not going to see them in press coverage. How far off the line of scrimmage are they going to be?
3:32 left in the first half. Steelers and their head coach, Adam Tardif, a 1993 graduate, had a lot of success with Lackawanna. In the early 1990s, the Steelers, of course, won consecutive state titles in 1997 and 98. Here is a short pass right in your wheelhouse. This time, the Steelers making some moves with Javar Davis, the senior, with his first catch tonight.
Yeah, so you watch the corners here. They're off about 8 yards. So throw it underneath and then run and make a play. That corner has to keep him inside. That's where your help is. If he keeps him inside, the troops can rally. If he gets outside, it's a bad angle for those troops. So he did a great job just to make that play, fight his block, and force it inside.
We're under 3 minutes left in the first half. And before we get a handoff, more flags, yes. Couple flags, another penalty against Lackawanna. Again, we'll get an official look at the first half stats in our halftime show. I'd say it's at least close to half a dozen now, maybe 7 or 8 now for the Steelers.
Yeah, it's quite a few, and that referee's going to have a Josh Allen injury if he doesn't slow it down out there. But yeah, I mean, if they're the right calls, the right calls. You got to make the calls. So hopefully these teams will clean it up at halftime, and I'm sure it's going to be a topic that the coaches talk about. But if you look at the top of the field, you got one-on-one to the field, hard inside leverage.
Here's the snap. Cashel looking down field, gets away and then flicks the ball forward, but it is incomplete. Slight pressure on the defensive line once again. Ezra leading the charge. Ian Story as well for the Hillbillies.
Yeah, that defensive line, they got challenged probably during the last change of possession, so they're starting to step up their game. But the quarterback is going to give his coaches a heart attack if he keeps trying those types of passes. That's just one of those you'd rather see him eat. Looks like they're trying to signal to the clock operators that they want 2-2-6. 2:26, I think that's what they want him. Yep.
And the request was granted from our scoreboard operator tonight at Highmark Stadium. 3rd and 7. Steelers 30. Low snap for Gashel. Gashel on the right. Getting pressured. Hit as he throws. And it is intercepted by Ethan Fry. Fry trying to make his way past the 40. A quarterback for a quarterback. Ethan Fry with the interception. And he gets drilled right into the Steelers bench.
Great play. You love it when your quarterback's the safety, but he made a great play. That staying higher, deeper. The assignment for the free safety is no deeper than nobody behind you. You are the deepest man on the field, and he was able to come downhill and make the interception. Great play, and Fredonia has, I did not think they would get the ball back twice under 4 minutes, but quarterback had to scramble because Fredonia's defensive line is stepping it up, and just like we talked about at the top, defensive lines are dictating significantly.
Good field position for the Hillbillies. 1st and 10 on the Lackawanna 40. Empty backfield for the Hillbillies. Here's the snap. Over the middle is nearly intercepted. Big breakup that time from Lackawanna's Amir Douglas.
So now you see these Lackawanna corners, defenders, they are breaking on the turn. So the quarterback turns, it means it's going to be a quick route, and they are breaking on any type of move by the receiver, and what that opens up is a pump and go. If these guys are going to come downhill fast, you can pump it real quick, and everybody, it turns into 4 verticals, 3 verticals, whatever you want, but everybody, if you're running a slant, you slant and then you're gone straight up field. And that's there if they want it.
Trips to the right this time for the Hillbillies. A QB draw for Ethan Fry. It's past the 40 and then brought down by Shamar Ware. About a 1-yard gain. Approaching the 2-minute warning in the first half. Again, in Section 6 football, this clock does not stop at the 2-minute warning, as you can see on your screen. Approaching 1:50 to play. Fredonia quickly getting up to the line of scrimmage with Ethan Fry under center. And a big rally last Friday night against Medina. See what they do here. Fry takes a snap to the right side, over, and it is nearly incomplete. Just a touch behind Ronsky on the outside.
Yeah, and he's got double coverage over there. You got one over the top, one inside. They threw an out route, which is there because there's nobody on the outside, but that's just got to be further out and a little lower. But they know this, so you're seeing game plan stuff, right? Their slot receiver is probably their go-to receiver, and they're bracketing him, one over top, one on the inside, and we'll see how Fredonia deals with that.
Fredonia has decided to call a timeout with 1:33 left in the first half. Lackawanna leading Fredonia 8-6. We'll be back with more of this short break on the NFHS Network. .133 left in the first half. Joe Kraus, Jim Klink. And after our first half, we'll toss it down to Jake Flyhock on the sidelines. But Fredonia knocking on the door here. Yeah. But they face 4th and 9 on the Lackawanna 38.
Big opportunity missed. I don't know if you're going to see them go for it here. Maybe they'll try to pull them off sides and then go for it after. Maybe a pooch punt. But we'll see what happens.
Tight pressure coming from the Steelers. Fry the snap, looking to the right side. The pass is incomplete, but a flag is thrown against Jeremy Perez of Lackawanna, going one-on-one with Fredonia's Jay Hawk.
And Lackawanna brought both outside backers. One got free, but there's courage by that quarterback. He stepped right into the blitz and let it go, and that corner went through the man to get the ball, and you can go for the ball, you just can't go through the man to get him. So a big break there by Fredonia. and that's a heck of a play call by the coach. I don't know if I can make that kind of call in this type of game with this set of circumstances, but great call. Kudos to the coaches.
So with the penalty, ball spotted now on the 23-yard line of Lackawanna. Fresh set of downs.
And nothing overly complex by Lackawanna. You're getting outside pressures. When they blitz, they're coming from the outside. They're not coming up the middle. And they're just man-to-man, zero deep. And it's there if they want to take shots.
Quick pass. It is almost intercepted. Ronsky wasn't ready for the pass from Fry. And then it was nearly broken up. Good heads-up play from Shamir Smalls.
Yep, and you're starting to see a little bit of inaccuracy problems from the quarterback. That ball needs to be a little bit more outside. But again, when you play a full season, this is you're tired. Every football player and coach down there is extremely tired. So things don't always operate, but it tests your will. It tests your fortitude. Can you fight through these types of times? And that quarterback's a fighter for sure. I know that.
2nd and 10 at the Lackawanna 23. Fry with a quick pass to the outside. This time connecting with his man Quinn. Moving the chains close to the 15-yard line, right the 16-yard line. Approaching the final minute. And
you're seeing, so they went away from breaking routes on that one. They just, everybody, I don't think they ran sticks, probably 5-yard hitches, come back. But that quarterback is definitely, he's either quick game or something vertical.
3rd and 3 for Fredonia at the Lackawanna 16. Trying to take the lead. Pass outside to Whitfield. He steps out of bounds after making the catch. We're going to call it at the 12-yard line.
So that's first down. That's a big play. So a little bit of a pick play there. So you had a slant from the number 1 and then an out from number 2, but number 1 accidentally ran into number 1's defender. So, number 2's defender. That opens up. If that's in the field, meaning the wider side of the field, that's a touchdown because there's a lot more room than the boundary side or the narrow side of the field.
1st and 10 at the Lackawanna 12. Davis, the low man in the backfield with the quarterback Ethan Fry, the senior. Quick pass, it is deflected and broken up, this time by Ashlyn Alexander Hall. Just a quick pass at a time. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, I think they brought the house on that one, and that's either a play like that or a touchdown. So it's getting tense up there. You can definitely see it a little bit in the players. You can see it in the play calls. They're trying to get the ball out quick. Definitely dialed up the pressure on that one. So it's getting interesting.
1:10 left to play. Timeout called on the field by Lackawanna. They have 1 timeout remaining. 2nd and 10 coming up at the Fredonia 12. We'll step aside for a quick break. You're watching the Class C Finals for Section 6 on the NFHS Network. And 1:10 left to play in the first half. You can see Lackawanna breaking the huddle. Lackawanna, of course, the high school where longtime NFL quarterback Ron Jaworski played for the Steelers back in the late 1970s. So in the event that Jaws is watching, a big shout out to him, a good advocate for Western New York football as well.
Yeah, he's got
through the years.
He's here. He's here somewhere. He wouldn't miss this. All right, let's see what the answer is on both sides of the ball. So you got 2 press corners on the inside. Looks like a little more pressure.
2nd and 10 at the Steelers 12. Fry with a pass to the open man Quinn. It went right through his hands this time, though. He had the space on the outside. They'll now bring up 3rd and 10, Jim, at the Lackawanna 12.
Yeah, that sailed on him a little bit, and then I think the receivers used to something with the vapor trail coming to him, and it was a little bit of a delay. So that's kind of like a change up in baseball, but just mistimed the jump. So Not sure what happened from the quarterback standpoint. Might have just slipped out of his hands.
3rd and 10, empty house for the Hillbillies. Fry takes the snap, 1-1 in the right corner. It is incomplete. Jay Hawk getting tangled up with Jeremy Perez. Incomplete. 4th down coming up. Interesting what you do now here, Jim. Just a minute left.
Yeah, just reading the body language of the quarterback, I'm wondering if he's injured because he just seems to be. It seems like a different body language than I saw at the Pew, but a little short on the back pylon throw. That ball was supposed to get to the back pylon, ended up well short. But they're going to try to kick the field goal and go into the half with the lead, which is big.
This is Sale to Bone. Attempting the field goal for Fredonia. The senior taking his steps back. And before we do, Lackawanna, or no, we have a timeout called by Fredonia, excuse me. 1 minute exactly left in the first half.
Well, they might have had a fake on there. I don't know if they did or not, but sometimes you go out and you see if you get a fake read. If the defense aligns to your advantage on the fake, then you go for it, and if not, you call the timeout. So let's see if they come back out and try to go for an end zone strike, or if they come back out and just kick it.
As we mentioned, this is a very big week, not just for the football team at Lackawanna, but Lackawanna High School this week is hosting the Section 6 boys volleyball finals. This past Tuesday, East Aurora Holland won their first title since 1952. Wow. They are now currently taking on Grand Island tonight in the Division II crossover championship, and in the Division I side, Orchard Park taking on Lancaster. We have a crew out at Lackawanna tonight, and you can catch those games on the NFHS network.
So it looks like if you look over the middle here, they got some big boys, some tall individuals lined up. Let's see it. He's got to get that over him.
Sale to Bone. A loose snap to Bone. Picks it up on the run. And he is brought down right away by who else? Shaheem Smalls. Breaking up the field goal attempt from Fredonia.
Yeah, that was a snap just rolled on the ground. Didn't get back. That was kind of doomed from the start. Sometimes you can get a fire drill off, but there was just too many people. Yep. Lackawanna escapes unscathed. That interception did not hurt them. And let's see if they take a knee here, kind of go in and reassess, or sometimes you can chuck and duck a little bit here.
Looked like a low snap. And Ethan Fry was the holder, just couldn't connect. But 55 seconds left in the first half. Lackawanna currently with a 2-point advantage. Quick handoff to the right side. Breaking free. Here comes Smalls down the sideline into the end zone for the touchdown. Big time run from Antoine Threets, expanding the lead for the Steelers. 75 yards.
Big play. That is just huge. That's monumental. Let's see what they run there. It looked like they lined up in that heavy left, and they went away from it. They went away from the strength. Sometimes they might have seen that coming down from the booth based on alignment. But I'd have to see that play again and see what the execution was. But they went away from that heavy side when the last 5 times they lined up into it, they went to it. So great play call, great coaching, good stuff all around.
Antoine Threets with his 8th rushing touchdown of the season from 75 yards out. Steelers expanding their lead, and the Steelers looking for more. The 2-point team still on the field. Definitely something our halftime crew will talk about here, Jim, is you get the 2-point pass play. Flag on the field. Pass is no good. There's a flag, but you got to wonder, Jim, giving up those types of big plays right before the halftime break after doing such a good job of containing Billy Cottrell and all of his players on the outside. Just how do you try to respond if you're Fredonia?
Well, that can be a killer. A lot of times, you go into halftime with a down 2. You still have your wits about you. The pain you can't really feel the pain as much, but that's kind of a backbreaker because everything gets magnified. Let's see if the Fredonia can put together a return here.
So interesting to see. There was a penalty on the 2-point pass play. You can see our man Mario Hall is going right into the grill of our players on the sidelines, giving you that action you'll see nowhere else other than the NFA Trust Network. Antoine Threets getting some big love on the sidelines from Joe Kingsley. And the Steelers lead by 8. This is just such a big moment, Jim, that we've talked about. Playing under the lights. These kids watch the Buffalo Bills every single week. How would you describe this magnificent night so far?
So far, it's great. I mean, the crowd is really into it, especially when you have those near misses. You see the reaction from the entire crowd base. So it's they're definitely into it, and it's a special night. I'm glad for everyone, including us, that the weather conditions are awesome.
Clear night, a full moon on hand as well here at Orchard Park. Sunday Kegwanalu ready to kick for the Steelers. Booming kick. Line drive, couple bounces, it's stopping. And a big dive by Keegan Whitfield. Actually Jamison Quinn at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, so you have 38 seconds left. You can go screen, you can go draw, you can go deep, or you can take a knee and reassess. I can't remember who gets the ball in the second half, but the halftime can be huge. Halftime can be a big momentum swinger itself.
We had a scoreless first quarter before the scoring spree began. Billy Gashel to Ashton Alexander Hall, 27-yard score. James Smalls with a 2-point catch.
So now you got 2 safeties deep for Lackawanna. This is the first time we've seen that. They're anticipating something deep.
Pass to the outside is caught by Quinn. Cross out of bounds at the 40. That's how the Hillbillies got on the scoreboard tonight. 3:40 mark in the second quarter, an 80-yard bomb. This time getting up to about the 40.
Yep, they have time to gain yardage, especially if Lackawanna is going to drop in that too deep. Their corners are off about 10 yards on the outside, about 5 yards on the inside.
Fry takes a snap, looks over, the pass is caught by Keegan Whitfield down the sideline, stopping all the way at the Lackawanna 46-yard line. Moving the chains once again are the Hillbillies.
Yeah, that was a great ball. There's 3 types of football throws: a 1-ball, a 2-ball, and a 3-ball. 1-ball straight line, 3-ball's an arcer over the top deep. That was a 2-ball that kind of just is over the defense into the hands of the receiver, and that you couldn't have done that any better, because if that's a 1-ball, that's a pick 6.
Gain of 14 on the hookup. First and 10, the Lackawanna 46, 26 seconds left in the half. Fry looking downfield, throwing another big arc, and it is intercepted by Lackawanna's Shaheem Smalls, his second interception of the night.
Yeah, I didn't think you needed that there. I think you could have nibbled a little bit more, especially on the outside. Let's see what they're running. They're running kind of a cross, a wheel route on the outside, which takes a long time to develop, which it might have been there, especially if the safeties went to the outside, but just kind of a premature release there, and the safety had a very easy time making the interception.
So a fumble recovery forced by the Steelers, then an interception by Shaheem Smalls, and the action on 2 turnovers for Lackawanna in the first half, and head coach Adam Tardif. The Steelers take a knee to close the first half, and I imagine, Jim, if you are the staff of Lackawanna, you're very pleased with how this half went.
Yeah, you're smiling from ear to ear, especially because of that last play. But good coaching staffs rebound, whether you're up or down coming out of the halftime.
Lackawanna getting a couple big scores. Billy Gashel to Ashton Alexander Hall. Antoine Threets with the 75-yard score. Lackawanna leading Fredonia 14-6 at the halftime break. Steelers looking for their first Section 6 title since 2008. Lackawanna with a big 14-6 lead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the adjustments. So what are they going to do coming out of halftime that they did differently? What are they going to do differently?
And just about ready. Steelers still leading 14-6 at halftime over Fredonia. And we'll toss it down. Jake Fox with Lackawanna's coach, Adam Tardif.
Lackawanna head coach Adam Tardif as at halftime in the Class C game. Lackawanna up on Fredonia 14-6. And Adam, what a great first half so far. Very intense first half. Start off with a big touchdown from your side. Fredonia comes back. You get a big running touchdown from Antron Threets. Just talk about how your team's been able to persevere so far and pick up the lead so far at the end of the half.
We've been playing good football, good Lackawanna football. We started to run the ball a little bit better. Big play, we broke one, and it's unfortunate our corner slipped on that play and gave an 80-yard touchdown. But right now it's been a great, exciting first half of football.
You're going about to head into the locker room, talk to your players. What is going to be the big key to help them to make sure that they stay consistent the rest of the way and try to grab that championship?
I think Fredonia is throwing everything they have at us right now, and we've been able to handle it pretty well. So we're going to talk to our corners and talk to our secondary and make our adjustments and just kind of tweak our game plan a little bit. Continue to run the football. We get the ball when we come out in the second half and play Lackawanna hard-nosed football.
All right, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Joe Kraus, Jim Craig, back to you guys.
Very much. Jake on the halftime sidelines with head coach Adam Tardif. His Lackawanna Steelers lead the Fredonia Hillbillies 14-6 at halftime. We'll take a commercial break, and then we'll be back with our halftime crew with Francis Beck and the gang. You're watching the Section 6 Class C Finals on the NFHS Network.
Welcome into the Western New York Athletics Section 6 Class C halftime show. It is the Lackawanna Steelers leading the Fredonia Hillbillies 14-6 as we head to the break. I'm Francis Beck, joined by my panel once again, Tim Chifa, Jim Craig, Paul Catrona. And guys, that was an exciting first half of that one. Before we get into analysis, I want to go over those scores. So the first score, a 26-yard touchdown pass. Billy Getchell having the game of his life. We'll talk more about that. He hits Ashland Alexander Hall on a 26-yard pass midway through the second quarter. But Fredonia answered right away, an 80-yard pass from Fry to Jamison Quinn. They miss on the extra point, on the 2-point try, and make it 8-6. And then Lackawanna, with under a minute to go, Antoine Threets goes 75 yards after the missed field goal, and that's where we have it 14-6. So, guys, I'll start on the other end with Paul.
Okay.
First thoughts on this first half.
Lackawanna, I said to myself, Jekyll and Hyde, playing a helter-skelter kind of game. The first three drives, nothing. Good offense. That third drive, fourth drive, again. And when I say Jekyll and Hyde, I mean penalty, great drive, penalty, and then fabulous run. So they need to get it together as far as cutting down on their penalties, capitalizing on opportunities. They dropped one, maybe two interceptions.
Maybe
They would have been maybe three, but 2 for 6, right? So they have to calm themselves down.
Jim?
On the other side, Fredonia had two good opportunities. First of all, they were 3 and out in the first series, and then they got a drive start from Lackawanna's 43, and they didn't go too far with that. And then they started from Lackawanna's 36. And Lackawanna's defense was playing very, very well, putting a lot of pressure. One of the notes I had made to myself before was that if Lackawanna puts pressure on Fry, it's really going to disrupt him, which it did last week with Medina, and it did. Again, a couple of, as Paul correctly mentioned, they're shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties. So Fredonia just couldn't get started, and finally got out of it and kind of goofed themselves up a little bit at the end.
Tim?
Francis, I think that you're just seeing two really good teams and very good defenses. And a lot of times when you see two very good defenses, the offenses are going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. You see, about four interceptions between the two quarterbacks already, because they're trying to make plays. They're trying to make things happen. And the pass rush for both teams is very good. It's extremely fast, especially Lackawanna's. So he's going to try to make plays. He's got to try to make make some runs, make some passes, and they're going to make mistakes that way. But these are two very good football teams, and it's a fun football game. I mean, the crowd's into it on both sides of the game. It's back and forth, and this could come down to who has the ball last. It really could.
I look at these two teams. I want to think of this quarter. So I was talking to Tom earlier today, and the big question I had about Lackawanna, they haven't been to this point before. They haven't been to this area before. This game before, and I was wondering if the bright lights would be too much. Well, they're not too much for Billy Getchell. Right. He starts out the game. He goes 32 yards on that. He should have been sacked on that play. He goes 32 yards, and he's made some fantastic throws, especially moving.
He's a special player. We had a chance to interview him, a couple of weeks ago, and I was impressed with him. Just as a kid, how he conducts himself. But he's tough as nails out there. He's smart. And I didn't realize how big his arm is. I mean, the one pass he threw, he went all the way to the other side of the field and threw it like 35 yards across field. But that's a big-time throw right there. He's a player. I mean, he really is. And like I said, the Lackawanna linebackers, as you mentioned, before the game started, they are fast. And it's causing a lot of havoc for the Fredonia offense, which is why you see the mistakes being made so far for Fredonia.
All right, on that note, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have the rest of our halftime covered. It's Lackawanna 14 and Fredonia 8. You're watching Western New York Athletics and the NFHS Network coverage of the Section 6 Class C Championships. the Section 6 Class C halftime show presented by Western New York Media Care, Howard Hanna Logistics Plus, and A Turf. So, guys, real quick before we wrap up, we're going to go with Paul and Tim Keys for Lackawanna, and then Jim and I will take keys for Fredonia. So, Paul, why don't you get started?
Okay, favorite quote from Marv: football's simple, it's not easy. What I want Lackawanna to do if I were the coach: offensive line, continue that strong front. The second quarter much better. Getchell really has a nice arm. They got separation by the receivers. You got to score a couple more. Defense, I'm not changing anything. They're super.
Yeah, I think you have to feed Threets quite a bit. Give him the ball. He is a special runner. You saw on that play a 75-yard touchdown when they probably thought they were trying to run out the clock. They scored, a 75-yard touchdown. As far as Getchell goes, I would just tell him to calm down a little bit. Don't try to overdo it. He's a great player. Don't try to do too much though. That's when you get into trouble a little bit. And then I agree with you defensively. Not a whole lot differently. Just attack the football. Go after it.
They're
Jim,
only
Fredonia?
Fredonia, excuse me. The Fredonia is only down by a touchdown, and they can continue to do what they were doing at the beginning of the game, and those are short, quick out passes. Fry throws those really well. He throws them before they come out of the break. It's really, really well. On defense, you can't let Threes get to the second level. Once he gets to the second level, then it's all over. So
and
again,
where were they on that second level on that run?
There was nobody there.
No, there was no second level. It was past the first level, and he was gone. Right?
Jim, we were at that game last week, and Fry actually struggled a little more in the first half, but he found it. If he can improve on his second half from last week, improve his performance in the first half here, I think Fredonia can come back and win. But it all starts with Ethan Fry. He had that pick on defense. We've had some success on the outside. He had one big long bomb. If he can put it together, and then we know Davis, he knows what he's doing out there. This Fredonia team can come back, and we could be in for a fantastic second half.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, it could come down to the two as a football last.
Yeah. All right, that will do it for our halftime show. If you're watching on Western New York Athletics and you're looking for the full broadcast with all of our 6 cameras, go to the NFHS network, subscribe, watch this game. You'll watch the rest of the games this weekend and the rest of the state playoffs. You're watching at W Athletics. We are only allowed to show that one camera shot of our guys on that feed right now. But we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we have Joe Kraus, Jim Click, second half action. You're watching the Section 6 Class C Championship on Western New York Athletics and the NFHS Network.
Coach Greg Sherlock. Greg, come out of halftime, get ready to set for this bout. What is the message you sent to your locker room?
Keep your heads high. We were moving the ball, and one big play killed us there at the end of the half, and we just can't hang our heads. We just got to suck it up, turn around, pretend the play never happened, just come out and play our football the second half.
Ethan Fry had that big, deep 80-yard pass to help you guys get on the board. What adjustments do you like to see to make sure you guys end up tying this up and try to get the lead here?
Well, I'd like to take what they give us. I think that's what we've been doing all year. Somehow we're getting out of our element at times, and that's on us. So I think we just have to do what we did all year, and hopefully we'll be all right.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Joe Kraus, Jim Klink, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jake Fayok, our man on the sidelines. We welcome you back to second half action of the Section 6 Class C Finals. Joe Kraus, Jim Klink with you on the call. Lackawanna leading 14-6. I mean, what else can we say, right? So far, so good. And under the big bright lights of Highmark Stadium, what else can you get for, right?
Well, I think I love what the coach said at halftime. Take what they give us. And what that tells me is that they're not doing that, or they're not executing the simple things. And that's always frustrating from the coach. But again, a great environment here. Anything can happen after halftime. Halftime is coach's time, because that's where they actually get to step inside the white lines and tell everyone exactly what we're changing, what we're doing differently, or we're just staying the same. Lackawanna, I think, has a slight advantage in this one from a physical standpoint. Their defensive line seems to be shutting down the run significantly and applying pressure sporadically, but it's a battle for sure.
Well, we heard it in our halftime show from our commentators, Paul Latrona, Jim Craig, Tim Chiefo, Francis Beck, the keys for the game. I want to ask you, your keys for the second half. What does Lackawanna have to do? What does Fredonia have to do? And on top of that, who maybe has the momentum right now?
I think Lackawanna for sure has the momentum. What we have from a Fredonia standpoint is they have a passing game. They can attack deep if need be. I guess we're on. How you doing? But they have the ability to go deep and go deep quickly. Lackawanna is giving 0 safeties deep, and that can be exploited. But that means the receivers have to win their one-on-one battles. I think the pump and go is there. If you have quick game, you definitely have a pump and go play, or something where you tag, where you're running your quick routes, and then you're cutting it off and running deep. So we'll see what the adjustments are, and that's the biggest thing. And a lot of times you see it right from the get-go.
Absolutely. As you can see, we are live from the Van Miller broadcast booth, start of the second half, named after the iconic Buffalo Bills broadcaster. We thank you all again for joining us tonight on the NFHS Network. We also have an audio-only stream going on right now on our social media platforms on WY Athletics. You can see our great look here from myself and Jim Clank. A big wave to the camera, all those watching on social media. But if you would like to get the full game day experience and see our 6 cameras, that is 6, you can count them, 6, all across the field, we ask that you subscribe right now to the NFHS Network, NFHSnetwork.com. There's also the mobile app, the Apple Store, Google Play Store. Anywhere you just subscribe, you'll get this game, the rest of our weekend, which Jim will get into in just a little bit here, as well as the rest of the state championships for football and across the spectrum here in fall 2022. So Lackawanna back on the field to start this drive.
Coming back out.
Yes.
They're heavy left. We'll see if they just, now would be the ideal time to pound it.
Counter run to Amir Douglas. He goes to the right side, still on his feet, close to the 40. Knocked out of bounds by Azara. It looked like number 7 for Fredonia. Peyton Glavy had the first touch, but a big run from Amir Douglas.
Yep, fake the pitch. They pitched all game long. Fake the pitch, come underneath with the lead blocker ahead. He either kicks out or seals the edge, but Fredonia pursuit was excellent on that. That can go big. That can go 50, 60 yards. But Fredonia held them to 4 yards.
So about a gain of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 coming up for the Steelers on their own 39-yard line. Here's the getting ready, Billy Gatchell. Hand off to the left side this time. Antoine Threets on the carry. Had a big 75-yard score for the Steelers before the halftime break.
Yeah, well, I think you saw the adjustment that Lackawanna is going to make. They're going to come out heavy, and they're just going to try to punch them in the face. We'll see what happens. I don't anticipate them getting out of that, and I like it. I like them. They have the lead. They have the ability. They have the strength, and it just now turns into a mentality thing. Now let's see if Fredonia counters with some run blitzes.
3rd and 1 coming up now for the Steelers on the 44-yard line. Hand off again, going to the left side. Antoine Threets creating some room and going out of bounds at the 30-yard line, taking a man with him on the run. A big first down play now coming up. Big run from Threets.
Yep, going right behind the big boys. They're outnumbered. They got a kick out. They got a seal, and off to the races. They don't have any need to throw the ball. They can just keep lining up in that and take chunks of yardage. This becomes a mindset that we're going to do this, and you're not going to stop us.
First down play coming up now for the Steelers. Fredonia 32. Here's a handoff to Douglas on the right side, moving the pile with him. And then the play finally stops. A little extracurricular activities, and now we have flags on the field.
Yeah, I didn't hear a whistle, and sometimes when that gets in that situation, the referee's got to just really blow that whistle. I didn't even hear. Oh, it looks like a personal foul. Somebody took a shot in there. But that can just be a loss of composure thing, and also an indication on the mentality for Fredonia that they see what's happening before their eyes, and it's frustration.
Lackawanna in the first half, 163 yards rushing, while with 93 yards passing, 256 overall as a unit. Fredonia just 172 offensively. So Lackawanna really, as we talked about early on, Jim, just moving the chains and really dominating on the running side of the ball.
Yep, and I think they just needed to get their feet under them. Not that Fredonia's powerless here. They can definitely make some plays. They have the personality and the personnel and the coaching to do it. Let's just see if the timing's right here.
First and 10 on the Fredonia 14-yard line. Early stages of the second half. Gachel rolling to his right, now stops, moving to his left. Gachel still on the run, throwing the pass. It is caught into the end zone for the touchdown. Shaheem Smalls with a big night once again, a 16-yard score through the air.
That quarterback loves throwing on the run because that was a bullet. It looks like his first and second read was not there. Improvised a little bit, got outside the pocket, and made a throw, going back, running to his left and throwing back on a wire. That's what we call a one ball. That was beautiful.
Shaheem Smalls, the team leader in receiving touchdowns for the Steelers in 2022. That was the 11th touchdown catch of the season. The offense staying on the field looking for a 2-point play. Gachel under center. He'll take it himself. He crosses the goal line. It is good. So Lackawanna now leads Fredonia 22-6 with 9:41 left to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, great drive. And that's exactly what they needed coming out of halftime. They had the lead. They had the ball. They needed to get in the end zone, and they did it. And it was the way they did it. They just said, this is what we're going to do. They didn't go backwards one time, and a great job. Now this gets dangerous for Fredonia because now you have a defense that can play a little more loose. You got a defensive line that can pursue a little harder. Penalties won't hurt them that bad. You can get a penalty every once in a while, but now you're going to see a defense with teeth. And, you just can't do the same old out there. You got to be able to adjust. And let's see how they adjust. A nice drive from Fredonia would be outstanding. A quick score would be equally outstanding because that just shows, hey, we're not. This game is not over. We are not going to fade away. We're right here, right now, and we'll see how they respond. And that's what football is. You're going to get punched. You're going to get punched right in the mouth. I think Mike Tyson said it best, right? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, but that happens repeatedly in the game of football. So let's see how this team responds. And again, both teams down there are tired. It's a long season, and sometimes when you get in situations like this, it's easy to give up.
Lackawanna with a historic resume when it comes to Section 6 football time. We've mentioned a couple times the last time they won a Section 6 title was in 2008 against the San Fredonia program, a 28-10 victory as the Hillbillies along the sideline knocked out of bounds. The Steelers also won sectional titles, the first in 1986. That came a year after Fredonia won their very first in 1985. 1986 for Lackawanna. Then in 1993, they won the Class B2 title in a very strong run. And then back-to-back state championships in Class B start of a four-peat for Section 6 level, 1997 to 2000. They won the state title in Class B, though, in the 97 and 98 seasons. The 1998 season, a memorable one in Lackawanna, a 13-0 finish. Then again, 2005, 2006, and again, 2008. So that's a heck of a resume for the Lackawanna Steelers, trying to add one to their trophy case at Lackawanna High School. Handoff on first down. Micah Davis is swallowed up by the Steelers defense.
Yeah, that was the middle backer, and that's the thing. You could just tell he was loose. He was reading. He came, as soon as that halfback got the ball, he came downhill and downhill hard. And that's, we got an injury on the field.
And so we will step aside. We'll be back with more from Orchard Park after this short break. .24 left in the third quarter. There was an injury timeout in Fredonia. Now taking the field, 2nd and 10. Then an incomplete pass, and not the start, I imagine, Jim, for Coach Greg Sherlock on their first drive of the half.
Yep, and they're the ones that are going to play with tension, and tension makes you slow. Tension makes you mistakes happen. Lackawanna brought a little pressure there. It looks like they're going to bring some pressure here, or at least show it. But they can play loose. Fredonia has to play a little tight.
Pass from Fry to the outside, just past the 40, caught by Jamison Quinn. Quinn had the 80-yard touchdown catch to put Fredonia on the board for the first time tonight, late in the first half. Good 19-yard hookup to the 41, 1st and 10 Hillbillies.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they needed. Offense is a rhythm, and moving the chains is part of that rhythm.
Fry takes the snap, looks to his left. The pass is caught, still on his feet, making a move down the sidelines. Big play coming from Davi White, his first catch tonight, crossing into midfield.
Yeah, getting a little bit of hurry up here, and now they're starting to read the corners. Corners are off. They're going to run short routes underneath.
1st and 10, the Lackawanna 47. Hillbillies go to the right side, making a move. Quinn stopped at the 40. Shaheem Smalls on the tackle, and a big interception for the Steelers late in the first half. But we're about a gain of 7 on the play. So 2nd and 3 coming up. Actually, they put the ball on the 41.
Yeah, corners are extremely far off. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's the way they're playing it. They're good, almost 10 yards off.
2nd and 4 for Fredonia. Fry takes the snap, now rolls out to his left, throwing on the run. The pass is caught by Davi White inside the 10. Davi White, just his first two catches of the night on this drive, and a big one.
Yeah, the more I see of Ethan Fry, the more impressed I am. This is a heck of a throw. I don't know if they were trying to pump and go, but he hesitated, throw it on the run. Nice, soft pass over the defense. Great play. We got a game here.
Absolutely. 1st and goal for the Hillbillies at the Steelers' 8-yard line. 4-receiver formation for the Hillbillies. Fry now on the QB keeper, goes to the right side. He's in for the touchdown. Ethan Fry on the QB keeper from 8 yards out, matching his jersey number, and the Hillbillies aren't going down without a fight.
Yeah, and that's That's exactly, you couldn't have drawn that drive up any better. Big plays, short, smart plays, just like the coach said at halftime. Take what they give us, and that's what they did. Lackawanna chose a strategy to back off their corners a little bit, and that allowed for some rhythm. Offense is a rhythm, and Lackawanna showed that on the last drive. Fredonia comes right back and punches back, and this is a fight.
Ethan Fry, an unbelievable season, entering tonight. Nearly 2,400 yards passing. On the ground, nearly 600 yards rushing. That's his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. Hillbillies trying to go for 2. Fry through the traffic, now throwing to the back of the end zone. It is good and caught by Jay Hawkins. Just like that, we're down to a 10-point game. Lackawanna actually leading.
8-point.
Yes, 8-point game. Lackawanna lead Fredonia 22-14.
Yeah, and the message Fredonia just sent is we are not going away. And this is Ethan again, just making a play. He was about to, he stepped up, he got whacked, but still made a play. That is going to be one sore human being tomorrow.
So 22-14. Lackawanna now leads Fredonia. 7:36 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, and now it's equally as important for Lackawanna to have a forward drive, no penalties. The ball doesn't go backwards, no turnovers. They went heavy and had a lot of success with that, and then went away from it a little bit, but I think they can go back to that. I wouldn't – they have the ability to do that all the way down the field. Line up in that heavy and just punch them in the face and go all the way down the field, but we'll see what happens.
So here come the Hillbillies. They're ready to kick things off. Now trailing by just 8 points. Hillbillies coming into Highmark, coming off a comeback 29-22 victory over top seed Medina last Friday.
I'm going to guess Ethan Fry had something to do with that.
Certainly did. Had a couple touchdowns to Brandon Rotsky down the stretch, to Micah Davis as well. And Lackawanna will now start this drive just past the 35-yard line.
Yeah, neither one of these teams want to kick it deep for some reason. But this is they only have 60 yards to go, so let's see what formation they choose. Let's see what play calls they make. But Fredonia's still in this game, and you know the coaches on the Fredonia sideline should be rallying the troops, just pumping the kids up, getting them ready to another quarter and a half, and that's it. So we'll see what Lackawanna does here.
First and 10 for the Steelers.
Back in their pistol.
Yep, on their own 37-yard line. Here's the snap, handoff to the right side with Antoine Threets getting a couple of yards on the play.
Yep, and I like the mentalities. Like we're coming out of halftime, we're going to run the ball just like the coach said going in. It's much easier to play the game of football running it, especially high school football. It's easy just to run the ball down the field. Passing's very exciting, but things can go wrong. But yeah, they're definitely, the mentality is different from the first half from Lackawanna.
Second and 7 now on their own 40 for the Steelers. Quick handoff this time to Douglas, making his way along the left side. It stopped right at the line of scrimmage. A good heads-up play by the Hillbillies defense. White Cash and a host of defenders. Ian Story as well, number 79 for Fredonia.
Yeah, that was a quick fullback give, and sometimes that can pop. But you have linebackers down there making reads. Somebody's eyes are on fullback, and fullback got the ball. I don't know how many times they showed that on film. So if it was they showed that on film a lot, then they were prepared for it. But sometimes those quick hitters can pop, especially if you're half a second late. That ball can be past you.
Steelers now deal with 3rd and 5 on their own 42-yard line. Steelers lead cut down to 8 after Fredonia marched down the field. Got a big score. Ethan Fry, the QB keeper, to cap it off. Billy Gachel to the right side, throws. It is caught, and making a move, Amir Davis close to midfield for Lackawanna. out to the 49-yard line. Gain of 7 and a first down for the Steelers.
Yeah, first down. It looks like we had too deep, too short. Yeah, Vert on the outside, out on the inside. Enough for the first down. Great execution.
Good short hookup. Gashel finding Amir Douglas. Douglas just a sophomore for this Steelers offense, and head coach Adam Tardif had a lot of high praise for the young sophomore. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he can do it all practically for Lackawanna. 5.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. First and 10 to 49. Gashel rolling out to his right. Gashel still on the move, and he does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Good tight defense on the outside from Davi White, number 23.
So they went back to a very similar play that they did on the last one, but they were trying to catch a home run. The inside routes were outs, but then they broke it off and went up. So that takes a little bit longer to develop, and things deteriorated in the pocket, and quarterback had to improvise.
Only a loss of 1 after all that scrambling from Billy Gachel. So it'll bring up now 2nd and 11 on the Steelers' 48-yard line.
And back to that heavy formation.
Quick pitch to the outside. Trying to make a move. Antoine Threets is brought down in the backfield, but we have a flag on the field.
Holding. Interesting call here, so now you can push them back yardage-wise, or you tackle them for a loss. Great job to string it out here. You're just going to see the defense work laterally. Linebackers coming downhill hard, and you also had that safety, Ethan Fry, coming down, getting his nose dirty.
So now as the Steelers were making their way close to midfield.
So yeah, they took the penalty. So they keep the down, and they move them back. So it's going to be 2nd down again. Yeah, second and 21-ish. But that's a tough call. You can go 3rd and 15 or 2nd and looks like about 25.
Ball spot out on the Steelers' 35-yard line. It's been a theme for Lackawanna all night. A few penalties at the wrong time. Here's the snap. Gashel looking down the right side of the field, and it is incomplete. Looking for his man, Ashlyn Alexander Hall. Tight coverage on the far sideline, and I'll bring up 3rd and 23 now for the Steelers.
Yeah, and that was a one-man route. And they just basically showed that power formation, dropped back and threw a vertical, and we got a penalty. And it looks like there's some player-referee interaction that caused that one.
Must have been near the end of the play. It is at the 32-yard line of Fredonia.
Yeah, and as a coach, you don't want something like that, especially given the situation. You have the lead, you have control of the game, and the only thing you can do to relinquish that is shoot yourself in the foot. And it looks like it is an emotional time down there, and we totally understand. But it's so important to keep your composure. Again, not everything's going to go right. Things are going to go wrong, and sometimes if you have the expectation that everything's going to go perfect, you're going to get frustrated.
So now the ball is spotted at the Lackawanna 22-yard line. This is going to bring up a 3rd and lengthy opportunity now for the Steelers on the 22-yard line. 3rd and 37.
That's so. We've seen so many of those today. You hate to see it, but let's see what happens.
Just one tailback in the backfield for Lackawanna. 3rd and 37. On the Steelers 22, the Fredonia faithful ringing the cowbells. Here's the pass to the outside to Douglas. Douglas taking down a man, but he is stopped at the 24-yard line. Good hit coming from Fredonia's number 22, Micah Davis, making his statement known on the play.
I have been so impressed with Fredonia's ability to make one-on-one tackles. It is hard to tackle in space, and Fredonia has done that extremely well for the most part, and forces a punt. That is a big, big answer by Fredonia's defense. This is a game that could have got ugly quick, but Fredonia they have tremendous fight in them.
3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. It's now ruled 4th and 35 on the 24. Here's a high punt from Billy Gashel going high into the air. The Hillbillies wave fair catch, but it goes well out of bounds regardless. So 3:17 left in the third quarter, and we still have an 8-point game. The Section 6 Class C Finals on the NFHS Network. So interesting to see what Fredonia will do to respond.
Yeah, I think this is they got great field position at the 42, and anything can happen now. This is a totally different game than I anticipated in the second half.
Again, we started no score at the end of the first quarter. Fry takes the snap. Now takes a little duck, scrolls to the far left side, throwing up a deep prayer down the sideline, one-on-one. It is incomplete. He was looking for his receiver, Micah Davis. No, I beg your pardon, Davy White. Davy White getting some action now on the outside. It was incomplete. Just ran out of room on the far side, Jim.
Yeah, and what you saw is Lackawanna decided they're not going to back off their corners, which is highly advised. They were all in press coverage, and they tried to make quick game happen, and it wasn't there.
2nd and 10 now for Fredonia at the Lackawanna 43. Steelers lead the Hillbillies 22-14. Winner advances to the Far West Regionals next Saturday at Batavia. Meanwhile, the pass to the outside is caught by Keegan Whitfield. Whitfield going one-on-one down the sideline past the 30. Another big play through the air from Fredonia. Ethan Fry showing his arm again.
Yeah, this is a far hash throw. This is such a hard throw. Far hash, deep out, on the money. That is impressive for a high school level athlete. Kudos to him. Kudos to the coaching staff to call on that play. That's definitely there, but you got to have the gun to fire it from, and he's got that for sure. 1st
and 10 for the Hillbillies at the Lackawanna 27. Fry a shorter pass connecting with Whitfield again. Stopped at about the 22-yard line, about a pickup of 5. And Fredonia once again, hey, this is on the K-Gun offense, right, for the Buffalo Bills. Fredonia putting up the tempo right now.
Yeah, another rhythm. Again, offense is a rhythm. And Fredonia has found that rhythm. Lackawanna had that rhythm coming out, but they lost it in advantage Fredonia. This is another momentum shift.
2nd and 5 at the Steelers 22. Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Hillbillies try to go to the ground game with, looks like Davis, about a 2-yard gain on the carry. And Lackawanna, we mentioned 240, 297, 300, 220. That's the pound for pound for Lackawanna on the defensive line.
Yeah, and that's about 2. Each one of those is double the size of the running back. So that was a quick hitter. Tried to hit it up inside. Sometimes that can pop.
3rd and 3 at the Lackawanna 20. Fry going down the left sideline, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his man Brandon Ronsky on the play, but one-on-one tangled up on the far sideline.
Blanket coverage. Watch the I'm not sure if that comes from the outside. Yeah, that was press coverage, stride for stride, hip to hip. Great coverage on the outside.
It was Ashwin Alexander Hall on the coverage for Lackawanna. Timeout called on the field. 2:22 left to play in the third quarter. We'll step aside for a short break. You're watching the Section 6 Class C Finals on the NFHS Network. Out of the timeout, Lackawanna leading Fredonia 22-14. The Hillbillies knocking on the door. Ball spotted. It's going to be 4th and 3 now at the Lackawanna 20.
Yeah, we'll see what the play call is here. No success running. They're averaging about 1.2 yards per carry, so a tough call here. Their success has been on the outside, throwing those outs with Ethan. I don't know if they have a pump and go here. They could try that, but we'll see. We'll see. They could definitely kick a field goal here. I don't know if their kicker's got the leg for it, but we'll see. And it looks like there was an injury, so maybe they'll try to exploit a player who came off the bench.
Ashley Alexander Hall appears to be the injured player for Lackawanna. He is making his way off the field now under his own power. Fredonia had a field goal attempt late in the first half, but there was a wild snap and they couldn't get the kickoff to sail to Bone in time. But interesting what the Hillbillies do, only trailing by 8 now, and 2:22 left in the third quarter.
So you got balance formation, 2x2. Press coverage on the inside receivers. Outside receivers are about 10 yards off.
QB keeper with Fry, but he is denied right at the line of scrimmage. A big play coming from the Steelers defense. Antoine Threets.
Yep, and I would have liked to have seen some kind of unbalanced formation, but you go with the hot hand. Number 21 for Lackawanna just made a great play. I'm sure that both those linebackers were talking to each other pre-snap and said, watch QB sneak, and they got there.
So a turnover on downs as a result. Good defense from head coach Adam Tardif of Lackawanna. The Steelers have now allowed 44 points this season. And a good start there. Well, rather to continue that, I should say. 2:17 left in the third quarter. Here's that heavy formation that we've seen a lot tonight from the Steelers. Low snap. They get the handoff to Douglas going along the right side. Brought down close to the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard on the play. The clock continues to roll. 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yep, trying to reestablish the run, which gave them the rhythm on the first drive. But Fredonia's up to the task. Nothing has been easy for Lackawanna. That first drive went pretty fluid, but the front line for the Hillbillies are fighting hard every single play. You don't ever see anybody loafing out there. They're coached very well.
No gain on the last carry. 2nd and 10 at the Lackawanna 21. 1:35 left in the third quarter. Steelers lead 22-14. The winner advances to the Far West Regionals next Saturday at Batavia High School. And before the next snap, we have flags on the field. Just taking a quick look here, Jim, at the Section 5 Far West Regionals. It'll be coming up this Saturday, November 12th, a 3 p.m. kickoff at SUNY Brockport. East Rochester Gannett, the 4 seed, taking on the 3 seed Attica High School. The winner of that contest will then take on the winner of this one right now, Lackawanna Fredonia, in the Far West Regionals for Class C next Saturday, 12 p.m. kickoff at Batavia High School. You can catch that game and the rest of the state championship on the NFHS Network. Short pass to Douglas to the outside, still on his feet. Past the 30, has open room down the near sideline. Cuts his way back to the middle. He's still at the 40. And finally, still on his feet. No, spinning away at the 30. Still on his feet at the 25. There's a big pile of Hillbillies shoving his way past the 20-yard line. What a big run from Amir Douglas, doing it once again all the way to the Fredonia 20-yard line.
Yeah, just made, and I was talking previously about how impressed I was about making tackles in space. Well, they missed a couple tackles in space, but it looks like they're going to be saved by a flag. We got probably an illegal block in the back, I think. Caught that out of the corner of my eye, but that's all the way back at the 25-yard line.
Big run from Amir Douglas is negated as a result. That big run would have put the Steelers into the red zone. And now 1:06 left to play in the third quarter. So Lackawanna will try to get another big run again. Amir Douglas, man, I imagine he's on the track team as well at Lackawanna, just sprinting down the field.
Yeah, Speed kills, especially in this game, but so do penalties. And that was a killer because he didn't need to do that. I didn't think he needed to do that. I'd have to see the replay, but sometimes, you're out there, you're trying to be physical, and you're just overly physical and don't stay disciplined. So, again, Lackawanna going backwards, and that's been a theme. That unfortunately has been a theme, and Fredonia is benefiting. But if they can just keep it simple, stay clean, no penalties, I think they have the advantage, but we'll see.
50 seconds left of the third quarter. It's now 3rd and 18 at the Lackawanna 13. Gashel in the shotgun. Gashel takes the snap, pressure on the right side. He throws it up on the right side. It is almost intercepted by Brandon Rotsky on the far side. The pass a little short from Gashel, near midfield on the far side, and now bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, they're trying to take advantage of that inside leverage by the corners. They're just running straight down that wide open alley. Quarterback, just if he puts that on the money, he's still running.
He was looking, Billy Gashel was looking for Javar Davis. They connected once on a catch earlier in this contest. We're down to 35 seconds, though, in the third quarter. 4th and 18 at the Steelers 13. The Steelers, Gashel is under center in the shotgun. Last time we saw this play, though, the Steelers did punt. Here is the snap, though. They're going to go for it. Gashel on the run, making the pass. It's intercepted by Fredonia, making the big play for the defense. Got to give credit to the man himself, Keegan Whitfield. He can do it on both sides of the field, and a big play for the Hillbillies.
Yeah, I don't understand that play call, but 4th and 18 on your own 10-yard line, that's going to make everyone cringe. But Fredonia, they made a play and advantaged them. Lackawanna's defense is going to have to save them for that one.
Keegan Whitfield, the senior receiver, defensive back, wasn't in the starting lineup, but coming in, making a big play on the defensive side for head coach Greg Sherlock. That's the second interception against Billy Gashel tonight. So let's see. Fredonia now knocking on the door, trailing 22-14, 25 seconds left in the third quarter. 1st and 10, the Steelers 17. Fry takes the snap. Looking downfield to the left side, and it is nearly given right back. Fry was looking for Micah Davis, and then there was traffic in the back end. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, the pass is there. For some reason, they don't want to go back to that press coverage where they've had a ton of success limiting Fredonia. There's no breakdown for it, but I'd love to see the breakdown of times in press coverage and yards gained by Fredonia, because I don't think it was a lot, but they're off. The wide side of the field is good 10 yards off. Looks like the near side of the field is press.
2nd down at the 17. On the outside, Jameson Quinn doing his dance, but he stepped out of bounds at the 10-yard line, says the side official. So 3rd down coming up at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and you have just off coverage on the outside, and there's room to run, and they're just running to the outside, running to green grass, green turf, I guess you'd call it here. But for whatever reason, the change in strategy from Lackawanna, now you got them back in press coverage.
3rd and 3 for Fredonia at the Lackawanna 10. 11 seconds left in the third quarter. Fry takes the snap, rolls out to his left, still on his own 25, goes past the defender. Now stepping up to his right. Here comes Ethan Fry on the run, takes it himself, and he is stopped at the 6-yard line. All the scrambling stopped by Amir Douglas to end the third quarter of play. Fredonia knocking on the door, though, trailing 22-14.
Yeah, that was about an 80-yard run, but it was side to side. He's trying to make things happen. I think he had just a little more time than he anticipated, but scrambling, trying to make things happen. But he was swarmed under pretty good there. But a lot of times when you're running that much, receivers are running that much, they're trying to figure out where you are. It's hard. There's no drill that can replicate that.
So that will end the third quarter of play. Lackawanna lead Fredonia 22-14. We'll send it out to Jake Faya.
So far, very close contact. Lackawanna on the previous defense Hillbillies. And there are no shockers so far. It starts with Samuel Atrotz, who comes into this game. It's 18 sacks on the season. And oh, by the way, who's had a really strong run as well. 19 on the team as well. And don't forget about the interior defense of Ian. And been great effort so far in this third quarter to make sure. But they're not down out yet, folks. They got to try to get back in this game. Try and get it fourth quarter. Jim Clinton. Back to you guys.
Jake Fyock started the fourth quarter. The Steelers lead the Hillbillies 22-14. Thank you all for joining us tonight on the NFHS Network. The Section 6 Class C Files. Joe Krause, Jim Klink with you on the call. And Jim, this is crunch time now. Fredonia knocking on the door. A 4th-and-1 play coming up at the Lackawanna 8-yard line. I'll ask you, you're the Steelers defense. What do you think is being cooked up right now from Coach Tardif?
I don't know. They've been put in a very tough position. It's hard to defend under these circumstances, but they were up to the task on that last play. But it's 4th-and-1. I don't know what you can see here. You might see some type of quarterback sneak, but more from an under center rather than the gun. But they could quick snap, meaning they just run right up to the line and snap it before Lackawanna's ready. Or they can go to their outs. They can go to their bread and butter. They've made their most gains on the out routes from number 2. We'll see.
So 4th-and-1 coming up at the Fredonia. Fredonia knocking on the door at the 8-yard line. 4th-and-1. Fry in the shotgun. Loose ball, no gain. Waiting for the official call. And he got it.
He got there. He squeezed through quarterback keeper from the shotgun. No success on the last one. Kudos to the coaching staff for going back to it. They know what they do, and they know what they do well. And they went back to that even though it didn't have success on the last one. So now they're in a little bit of tempo.
1st and goal at the 6 for the Hillbillies. Knocking on the door. Trailing 22-14. Fry takes the snap, rolls to his right, still getting pressure. Now throws it to the back of the end zone. It is incomplete. Looking for Jay Hawk in the corner. Just ran out of room. 2nd and goal coming up.
Yeah, another quick pass that didn't go. First read didn't go well. First and second reads didn't go well. When I say quick pass, the quarterback's supposed to catch it, throw it. He should have a predetermined read. What might be happening is what he's shown pre-snap changes post-snap. So. But he kind of, you see, gets happy feet and gets out of there relatively quick.
2nd and goal at the Lackawanna 6-yard line. Fry takes the snap. Going to his right, into the right corner again. A jump ball in the corner, but is incomplete. Looking for his man. Looks like slow to get up. It is Whitfield. We'll take a look at the play once again.
Yeah, just looks like they're trying to throw some kind of number 2 fade or just exploit a height matchup, which they tried to do, but Lackawanna converged nicely.
Twice now on this red zone opportunity. The Hillbillies have looked for Jay Hawk. He's listed 6'4", $190 senior, part of the senior core for head coach Greg Sherlock and this Fredonia Hillbillies team. Early stages of the 4th quarter. 3rd and goal for Fredonia at the Lackawanna 6.
Different formation here, 2 backs in the backfield.
Here's the snap. Fry going to the right side. He is stopped rather quickly. Amir Douglas with a big tackle.
Yep, so they brought 2 backs in the backfield to block for the quarterback keeper.
Gain of potentially 1. We now have 4th and goal at the Lackawanna 5-yard line. Again, as we said, Fredonia back in the 2nd quarter, had a field goal opportunity inside the 20, a low snap. The Hillbillies, couldn't convert the play. But now the clock winding down, 10:48 left. It appears season on the line, absolutely. Fredonia back on the field. 4th and goal at the Steelers' 6-yard line. Ethan Fry in the shotgun. Trips to the left side. Here comes Fry, but before the snap, a flag on the field. Against Fredonia.
That makes things tough. All right, so 4th and 10, down by 8. Looks like they're changing things up here, bringing the kicker on the field, trying to get the points.
Sale to Bone. Coming out for Fredonia. The senior, as we just said, the last time the Hillbillies had a field goal opportunity in the second quarter, they could not convert. A low snap from Simon Price. Ethan Fry is the holder once again for the Fredonia Hillbillies. DeBone lining up for the kick. Snap, a little low. DeBone gets the kick, but it's blocked. Blocked at the line of scrimmage by the Lackawanna Steelers. The spirit of Bethlehem Steel is alive on the special teams play for Lackawanna.
Yeah, they got tall monsters in the middle there. And they got a little bit of penetration, and then that took way too long to develop. So that's tough. Sometimes you gotta play your odds, and odds were not in favor on that kick. It took too long to develop, and they got too much penetration.
So as a result, Lackawanna will take over 1st and 10 on their own 28-yard line. With 10:25 left to play, Lackawanna leads Fredonia 22-14. Steelers looking for their first sectional title since 2008. The Hillbillies looking for their first since 2010. Gashel in the shotgun. Quick handoff to the left side, trying to get around the left side. They can't. It's going to be a big loss for the Steelers on first down.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a kick out of the end. The end got upfield fast and blew up the kick out, so the fullback had no angle to kick him out. It was able to string it out, and a loss.
Ball now spotted on the 27-yard line. They list no gain on the play. Good start for the Fredonia defense on this drive. 9:50 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Steelers lead 22-14.
Seeing a lot of fatigue out there. Guys you can just tell the way they're moving on both sides of the ball. There's no one's moving fast. It's just kind of a saunter.
Gashel takes the snap. Over the QB keeper. Goes to the right, and he is stopped in the backfield. About a 4-yard loss on the stop. Big stop from Sammy Azra, the leading tackler for the Hillbillies tonight.
Yeah, Fredonia's standing tall. They're standing tall. There's so much pride in this. They are not giving up without a fight. Lackawanna has a chance to nail this one down, and they're having trouble just moving the sticks. Other than that first drive coming out of halftime, they haven't been able to do anything.
Loss of 3, 3rd and 13 for the Steelers on their own 24-yard line. Timeout called by Lackawanna with 9:05 left in regulation time. Don't touch the dial. We'll be back with more on the NFA Just Network. .905 left in the fourth quarter. We have a Lackawanna 8-point lead here at Highmark Stadium.
Well, we'll see what they can draw up here. 3rd and 13 is no easy down, but they usually have a go-to play, and now's the time to go to it.
So let's see what the Steelers can do. 3rd and 13 on the 24-yard line. For Lackawanna, they go to a deep ball downfield, and it's incomplete, just out of the reach of Ashley Alexander Hall.
Yeah, that was a 50-yard throw. That's a heck of a throw for a high school quarterback, and that was almost on the money. If he caught that, he's still running. He was able to get behind the free safety. I think the free safety took a bad angle, and I think he thought the ball, no way that ball was going that far, but it did. It got there for sure.
Under 9 minutes left to play in regulation time. 4th and 13 for the Steelers. They are in point formation. Punt on the way. It's short from Gashel. Taking a couple of bounces inside the 30. They'll roll at the 40-yard line with 8:47 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I know Fredonia likes to take the short, but sometimes when you get down to inside that 10-yard line, there is no space, and this Lackawanna defense is extremely athletic, so I think the best strategy from here is try to take a shot now, or try to get yourself to the 30 and take a shot from the 30. So we'll see what they do. If they're sticking with the consistency, then they'll probably just try to nickel and dime it upfield. But you got press coverage into the field here, off coverage 2x2, off coverage on the top of the field.
Here's a snap. Fry looking downfield to the left side. It is incomplete. One-on-one, the Fredonia fans were looking for pass interference. It's an incomplete pass, though. Second down coming up.
Yeah, just as I was saying, time to take a shot. And they tried to take a shot. I think he got a little too much under it. The ball a little too high. And unfortunately didn't go far enough and allowed the defender just to make a play. You'd like to see the defensive back turn his head back to the football on that to avoid a penalty, and when they don't, usually you see a penalty, but not on that one.
Second down, Fry to the far side. It is caught on the far sideline, this time coming from Fredonia's Jamison Quinn.
Yeah, nice. Their go-to play all night long is the out by number 2. And it's working, so you might as well go to it.
In the fourth quarter. Fry in the shotgun, a quick handoff. All the way to the right side, and a big stop from the Lackawanna defense. Amir Douglas again.
Yep, fourth down now. But they got... You got a lot of Lackawanna players down there with their hands on their hips. They're probably gassed. This Fredonia offense has run a lot of plays.
4th and 2 coming up. Under 8 minutes left to play. Ethan Fry on the QB keeper. He is short. Big stop again by the Lackawanna defense with 7:48 left to play.
Let's see where the spot is here. It looked like they went back to their quarterback keeper, and yep, they held him. You can only go to the well so many times, but I think if their next fourth down, they're going to run that same play again. But nice stop by Lackawanna's defense.
So 7:41 left in regulation time. Here come the Steelers, trying to close things out. 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line. Hand off to the right side for the Steelers. A big run from Antoine Threets past the 40.
Yeah, and you had your quarterback who had to come up and make that play. It's tough. You love the kid to play both ways, but I think the last thing he wants to do is right now is come downhill on a very large running back, and he took the worst of that for sure.
2nd and 1 coming up at the Steelers' 41-yard line. Just over 7 minutes left. Here's the handoff to the right side.
First down.
Big pile. It should be enough for Steelers. First down.
All right, let's see what their strategy is here. They're bringing in a new player, taking out a receiver, so it looks like they're going to go back to heavy formation. Got a lot of players on the Fredonia side that are bent over, hands on knees. It's that time. It's that time of year. It's that time of game.
6:23 left in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 on the Steelers' 45. Handoff up the middle. Get a couple yards close to midfield.
Yeah, and I think they can do that the rest of the way here if they choose to. They have, every time they've run, a majority of the times that they've run that play with that formation or any type of play with that formation.
Going to be about 2nd and 6 at the 49-yard line.
Looks like we're there. I don't know. There's little confusion down there.
Five and a half minutes left. Handoff going to the right side. Spinning away. Antoine Threet still on the move. Getting close to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, another big play on the run. And this is the hardest thing for a defense is having to make tackles this late in the game, this late in the season, with this much on the line. And they're doing the best that they can, and you can tell that fatigue is setting in, and Fredonia, the Lackawanna Steelers have the upper hand right now.
5:09 left. We have an injury on the field. We'll step aside. You're watching the NFHS Network.
Need my mic. Oh, there we go.
In the fourth quarter, Lackawanna leading 22-14 over Fredonia. It's 3rd and 1 at the 46-yard line. Fredonia for the Steelers. Lackawanna with that heavy formation once again. Gasell going right up to Joe Acevedo with center. The QB sneak, and Billy Gasell rolls all the way out. Fredonia thinks the ball was out. Waiting for the official call. And it is a turnover caused by the Fredonia defense.
Yeah, well, you got a quarterback sneak. Quarterback wanted a little more. He got his yard, and then some green grass opened up for him, so he made a couple more steps and then stumbled, put his hand down to prevent himself from falling, and then the Fredonia defender ripped the ball out, and he landed with the ball. Unbelievable play.
So after the turnover, 4:48 left in the fourth quarter. Still some time. The Steelers lead the Hillbillies 22-14, but here comes Fredonia getting another new life. 1st and 10 at the Hillbillies 38-yard line. Fry in the shotgun. Fry with the handoff. Now moving back, looking towards his right. Fry on the move. Getting past the 40, and a good QB keeper from Ethan Fry.
Yeah, he took a shot there too. He is going to be one sore person tomorrow. That's going to be an ice bath all day. But their defensive end, left defensive end for Lackawanna got free. Ethan did his best to evade, but he was only able to pick up about 4 yards.
2nd and 7 at the 41. Just over 4 minutes left. Fry takes the snap. Fry looking downfield, one-on-one. He's got his man. It is caught down the sideline from Brandon Rotsky inside the Lackawanna 20. First down, Fredonia.
Yep. And that's what you got to do. They got 0 safeties back there. You got to take your shots. This time, the ball did not go as high, so the receiver was able to keep his stride, and I think he got away with a little push there. But regardless, Fredonia is back in business, but they're back in this area that makes it's very difficult to score here when you get this blanket coverage.
First and 10 at the 18. Fry rolling downfield, fires a pass. It's just incomplete. Just out of the reach of Whitfield.
That was a heck of a throw. Just out of the reach. I don't know if this was a designed rollout. Took his drop, felt the pressure, rolled out, planted, let it fly on that crossing route. Almost. I think this is the yard line you got to score from here. You got somebody down, but there's a lot of room back there, especially with no safeties. You creep into that inside the 10-yard line, you get pretty limited.
Yeah, we have an injured player on the field. 3:42 left. We'll step aside on the NFHS Network.
I got nothing. Okay. Second and 10. Decisions to be made. I honestly believe that this is your strike zone. You got 3 downs to strike from here. You don't want to be inside that 10 or inside that 5 because you become so limited. 90% of your playbook goes away, and you have the option of just about everything in your playbook right now. So this is the time to strike. I think from a Lackawanna standpoint, this is the time to back off your DBs because the exploitation is behind them. But back them off maybe 5 yards, and that looks like you got press into the boundary and off coverage into the field.
Second and 10 at the 18. Fry rolling to his right. Fry still on the move, throwing up the pass down the far sideline, but it is incomplete. Looking for Jay Hawk.
Yeah, and that's the philosophy here. They're going after the end zone. You got 2 more plays. Maybe you start thinking about a first down to get more plays and hope for the best with 4 inside the 10. But they got to get to the 9-yard line. But they're trying for that end zone because I think this is your best option. For some reason, they don't want to run a post from number 1. When you got a receiver that's off, or a corner that's off that far, that post is open because you got press on number 2, and you have a post from number 1. They can get behind the number 2 receiver, and there's no safeties back there.
Third and 10 at the 18. Fry stepping up. Fry on the QB sneak, gets to the 14-yard line. A big run from Ethan Fry.
Yeah, a lot of bodies getting up slow. These young men are just battling with everything they have on both sides of the ball, and you can tell they're feeling it. But they went for another shot at the end zone. The pocket deteriorated, and Ethan tried to do the best he could. 4th down. This could be the game.
3 minutes left. 4th down.
You got 3 and counting left. Staying with the 2x2 set.
Hillbillies still trailing by 8. Fry takes the snap. Fires over the middle. It is incomplete, but we have a flag in the end zone.
Wow. And that's what it was. It was a post on number 1. And that's been there for a long time. I don't know if they called it. You got a top receiver running a post. Got him. And yeah, I don't see the penalty there. That's a tough call, but that flag has become habitual tonight, and you're just going to have to live with it. But now you're going to get a first down inside the 10, and you're back in that place again. So we'll see what they have. Let's see what they can do. They've called a lot of quarterback sneaks from here. Yep. Top side, you got the post. He sees it. He plants. He drives. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see. I don't know. Maybe when he went up, it looked like maybe he went up and he hit the helmet of the receiver when he went up. That's the only thing I could see. But regardless, they got 4 downs. And then they got to get a 2-point conversion. So I'd give the advantage to Lackawanna here. They've run considerable amount of plays in this area with no success. So let's see if anything changes.
First and goal at Lackawanna 7 for Fredonia. Trailing by 8. Here's the snap, 1-on-1 to the corner. It is caught in the end zone for the touchdown. Jay Hawk from 7 yards out. What a play!
Yeah, and they went with the height advantage. And that's something I would guess that they were going to do that 4 times and get one of them. But went with the height advantage, executed. You throw that ball to the back pylon. You throw that ball over the back pylon and make him jump and catch it. That way it takes the defender out. He knew it from the get-go. He threw it there from the get-go. Great play. And he did not. That's a great play by the receiver not to push off, because your instinct is to push the body out of the way. Now they gotta make a 2-point conversion.
Fredonia kept going towards Jay Hawk in these opportunities in the last few minutes. Hawk just his 4th touchdown catch of the season. But the Hillbillies now trying to tie things up with the 2-point play. Fry, scramble, it looks left, still on the run. Goes back to his right.
Wow.
Fry has the open space. He gets the pass, but we have a flag on the field. We have a shaken up too. Shaken up player.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, let's take a look here. Ethan scrambling the best he knows how. It looks like he had him down, and then I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, can we run that back again? Because I would love to see that. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, that could be, especially going that direction. I think it was, but we'll see. Flag again. Surprise, surprise.
So, as a result, wait for the official call from our referee, Ken Eddings, tonight.
All right, so they got a 2-point conversion from the 18-yard line. I think you're going to have to go for your height advantage again, see if he can win.
Jay Hawk, as we mentioned, 6'4", 190-pound senior.
Yeah, 6'4" is hard to beat, and that corner up there looks about 5'10", if that. And that's advantage offense if they take it.
2:32 left in regulation time. The Lackawanna Steelers fans fired up.
And they're lining them up in trips, so they can't do anything they can't bring 2 receivers over or 2 defensive backs over the top of them.
This is Fry scanning downfield, moves to his left, going to the middle, escaping a defender. This is Fry going up, throwing the pass, but is deflected in the end zone, almost caught by Ronski, but the 2-point pass play is no good. So Lackawanna holds on to a 22-20 lead, 2.5 minutes left in regulation time.
Yeah, and that's tough. He did his best. He is dodging bullets out there, and I think if he can get that on a little bit more of a line or deeper, yeah, if he could have got that to the back pylon, I think it has a chance. But a heck of a play, and you got 2:32 left. Probably an onside kick here, or it looks like Fredonia's got all 3 timeouts, so they can try to kick it deep, and then you're going to call timeouts for the first 3 plays. So we'll see what the strategy is here.
So we're approaching 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Reminder, coming up later tonight, after the conclusion of this contest, we will have the Class A championship for Section 6. Jamestown facing Williamsville North, a rematch of the Red Raiders' 35-34 win back in mid-September. We'll have the call for that contest, as well as tomorrow the Class B finals and Class AA only on the NFHS Network. Joe Krause, Jim Clank with you, our entire crew up in the Van Miller broadcast booth, and Jake Fike on the sidelines. I mean, Jim, it's a Thursday night. It's the start of the Veterans Day weekend. You couldn't expect a better contest like this.
Yeah, this is Not what if you would ask me what this would happen at halftime, I would have said no way. But Fredonia has fought. That coaching staff and that school has nothing to be ashamed of if this doesn't work out for them. They have fought tooth and nail all night long, and now they're going to try an onside kick. And anything can happen. That is not a circular object down there. That bounces all kinds of funny ways, and it's the kicker's job to make it do that.
Calder in here, ready to kick off. Actually, Owen Rush with the squib kick. It takes a couple of bounces to the 45. Interesting scenario. 2:29 left in regulation time.
Okay, so what you had was the kicker lined up to kick, and then a lineman from the other side went and onside kicked it. That was a great play. Had me fooled, but looks like Lackawanna has the ball.
So Lackawanna will take over. 2:29 left. The Lackawanna fan base, big crowd on hand. It split down the lower bowl. Below us on the right, we have the Fredonia faithful still fighting on, only trailing 22-20. The far left, we have the Lackawanna, very strong fan base from the Steel City on hand. And the Steelers have 1st and 10 now on their own 45-yard line.
Yep, and the goal here is to secure the ball and move the chains. Move the chains, you're moving on.
Gashel, low snap, takes it himself, gets a little shove, and gets close to the line of scrimmage if he got back. 2nd down coming up.
And I think I can hear the Lackawanna coaches aging. That was a mishandled snap. I don't even think that was the play that was called. It just kind of turned into a quarterback sneak. I don't want to call it a quarterback sneak. It was just quarterback dive, and he got back to the line of scrimmage, but most importantly, he secured the ball. Fredonia takes a timeout, 2nd and 10. Worst case scenario for Lackawanna, best case scenario for Fredonia.
So 2:25 left to play. Lackawanna leading Fredonia 22-20. Reminder, after this contest, we'll have Francis Beck and the crew on hand for a post-game show to break down the Class C championship. Francis Beck, Tim Schifa, Paul Gashoy, and Jim Craig, like they have done all day so far. They'll be coming up after the conclusion of this contest. 2nd and 10 for the Steelers on their own 45-yard line. 2:25 to play. Direct snap, handoff to Douglas. He is brought down quickly to the line of scrimmage. Another big stop from the Hillbillies defense. 2:21 left. Timeout called by the Hillbillies.
And there is no quit in that Fredonia Hillbilly team over there. They are just playing to the last second. Now, what you saw on that last play is they had no safety. So they took out, they either took out the safety or they had him walked up to the line of scrimmage. You basically had 9 in the box and corners on the outside. If Lackawanna wants to get daring, and they feel they have the speed on the outside, it's there.
Fredonia with 1 timeout left now. Lackawanna has 2. 2:21 left. 4th quarter action here at Highmark Stadium, the Section 6 Class C Finals. Lackawanna leading Fredonia 22-20.
Yeah, there's no safety on the field, so they either put another lineman or another linebacker there. So it's wide open deep. You got 9 in the box, so if you're going to run it, you're going to be met with a lot of white shirts.
Low snap, quick handoff, another stoppage on the defensive line from Fredonia, winning the line of scrimmage on this drive. It's going to bring up 4th down, 2:16 left. Fredonia has used their last timeout.
And what they bring up is a fantastic finish. So what's going to happen here is you're going to get a punt, which I don't think either team has done outstanding at punting. So this is not a guarantee that they're going to be pushed back. If they get off a good punt, they're going to have, regardless of good punt or not a good punt, they're going to have a good 2 minutes to drive down the field and try to kick that field goal. The field goal can work if they can get that. If they can get the kicker to sync up a little faster. He's just got to start walking towards that ball before that ball even gets there. So a lot of things can happen. There's, like I said, 2 minutes left in the game. Execution of this, from a Lackawanna standpoint, execution of this punt is most important. From a Fredonia standpoint, securing this punt is of utmost importance, and they got to get blockers on those gunners. So you're getting they're double teaming the top gunner. You got 2 Fredonia players on the one Lackawanna player.
And here's the punt from Billy Gashell. About and out of bounds. 2:09 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so they don't have to go 80 yards. I'd say they have to go about 60 yards in 2 minutes and execute a field goal. Now, they've had the ability to get behind the Lackawanna defensive backs. Let's see if they attempt that. They also have the ability to attack the outside with the out route from number 2, and they've been doing that. You never know what else is in the bag of tricks. Like I said, all game long, the pump and go is definitely there because they're going to start jumping routes. But you're starting to see a little bit of emotion from the Lackawanna side, a little bit of frustration. They feel they should have put this away a while ago.
So let's see the last time the Hillbillies had the ball. They marched down the field. Ethan Fry connecting with his senior classmate Jay Hawk. Here's the snap. Fry looking down the right side again. A deep ball through the air. It is caught. What a catch by Jay Hawk once again, sliding his way past the Lackawanna 30.
Wow.
What a play.
Yep. And they went vertical. They said, we're not going to do anything short. We're going to take our shot right now with our best receiver. Able to step up. Outstanding play. That's a pure stack. We call that a stack. So that's when the receiver gets on top of the corner, and that's a great play. Now let's see how they attack this from here.
50-yard pass play. First and 10 at the Lackawanna 30. Fry going to the left side. One-on-one. It is deflected out. Oh, man, looking for Whitfield. He is shaken up on the play.
Yeah, I'm shaking up too. They're going after it. They are. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're saying, you know what, we're going to get behind these guys. Everybody's tired out there, but sometimes when you pump that adrenaline into those veins, you no longer feel tired. You no longer feel any pain, and you can do just about anything. And Lackawanna's the one. They're on their heels here. This is big.
1:33 left. Hillbillies at the Lackawanna 30 after Fry connected with Hawk for a 50-yard pass play. Fry takes the snap. Scrambles to his left, avoids the pressure, and now steps up. Fry over the middle. The pass is incomplete. Looking over the middle for Jamison Quinn. 2nd and 10 at the Lackawanna 30 with 1:23 left in regulation time.
Yeah, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty here. You got a lot of people in these stands that are up on their feet. You got Winslow North fans coming in, Jamestown fans coming in. They're watching a heck of an ending.
3rd and 10 now. The Lackawanna 30. Hillbillies trailing by 2. A hard-fought battle, but before the snap, it's caught by Hawk regardless. We have a timeout called by Lackawanna. They have 1 timeout remaining. Just getting that time off before the snap.
Yeah, and that receiver took a lick, and he did not need to do that. Yeah, it's quite a battle down there. You see a lot of hands on hips. These guys are exhausted, so whoever comes out on top in this game will not feel anything till probably tomorrow morning. And then they're going to feel a lot.
Absolutely a hard-fought battle tonight under the lights at Highmark Stadium at Orchard Park. Joe Kraus, Jim Clank with you on the call from the Van Miller broadcast booth. Certainly, the late Van Miller saw a lot of thrillers down the stretch. I imagine what he would be saying if he was here with us, but we have a minute 23 left to go. How does each team approach this here?
Well, I think you got a Fredonia team that's on the attack. And they ran the last play. It was an out, so they were going to basically get probably a 4th and 2. So they're on the attack. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for the end zone twice here, but you never know. 3rd and 10. They've been going to the out, especially they did on that last play. I could see them going deep, but they don't. It's kind of like an all or nothing. So they're going to take a 5-yard out, or they're going to try to strike deep. Now you got. Looks like 2 high safety for Lackawanna.
Well, here we go. Fry on 3rd and 10 to 30. Fry scrambling to the right. It is incomplete. A very low pass. It looks like the receiver, Micah Davis, thought he caught it, but it is a low pass.
Yep, and you got 2 safeties back there. One of the safeties looks like he's cramping up. So you got 1.5 safeties back there, but there was a little hole. I don't know if they gave him a cover 2 look there, but he was wide open.
So here we go. Fredonia needs to convert this play to keep their season alive. It is 4th and 10 at the Lackawanna 30. Steelers lead 22-20.
Lackawanna with 3 down linemen. Everybody else is going to drop in coverage.
Here's Fry, but we have some movement. Timeout, rather. The last timeout for Lackawanna.
Wow. And Ethan Fry took a tiny little shot there that he looked like he did not appreciate, but 4th and 10, and you're going to have, they're going to have 8 in coverage. So whatever, any kind of pass will be contested. You're going to have to make a contested catch, and this is the time that contested catches are called for. So, it's 4th and 10, Highmark Stadium, section on the line. This is the Western New York Super Bowl, so somebody's got to step up and make a play, and I wouldn't feel bad putting my money on Ethan Fry. He's a heck of a football player.
And if I read earlier this week correctly, this is the only section 6, they're the only section that is able to have their championships held in an NFL stadium. So big pressure under the lights. 1:15 to go.
Yeah, there's no other stadiums in New York, is there?
Ethan Fry in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left. Fry. More movement inside the trenches. And according to the fans of Lackawanna, it's against Fredonia. It's now 4th and 15 at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it doesn't really change much because they weren't going to throw anything to the sticks there. I'm pretty sure they were going to try to attack something deep. But you're 4th and 15. You got an empty backfield. You're going to have Ethan, the athlete, try to make a play, make somebody miss, and then catch a scramble drill ball.
Here we go. 4th and 15, the Lackawanna 35. Fry looking downfield, releasing the deep ball to the far side, and it is intercepted by Lackawanna. Shymir Smalls, his 2nd of the night, and that should ice it with 1:06 left in the 4th quarter. You can just tell from the fans, the Lackawanna fans know just a couple minutes away from going to the Far West Regionals for the first time since 2008.
Yeah, heck of a battle on both sides. You got a lot of guys down on one knee on both sides here. Lackawanna is not hurting as much. Fredonia is starting to feel that a little more, but yeah, I think that's a D-back. Yes.
So we have an injured player. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the NFHS Network. Back to Highmark Stadium. Shymir Smalls with the interception, but we still have a player being treated to on the far side of the field.
And we have an interesting situation here. The ball was intercepted on looks like the 1-inch line, so they cannot down the football. And there is a risk of a safety here, and if there's a safety, that is a tied game. So Lackawanna is not out of the woods. They're going to have to execute. I wouldn't go backwards at all. I would snap the ball to the quarterback and everybody go forward and do that twice, and this game is over. But they got to execute a snap here. Sometimes that can be difficult, especially when you're a shotgun team. The thing you practice the least is an under center snap. So they're going to have to execute an under center snap without fumbling the football, without going backwards, and without getting a safety. So if I were Fredonia, I would line up my dogs right over that football and just let them loose.
Yes, the ball is spotted on the half-inch line, as Jim just said. Lackawanna, as we mentioned, this was a rematch of the 2008 Section 6 title Lackawanna with a 28-10 victory over Fredonia in Class B. The drought just 66 seconds away potentially from ending tonight. A lot of fans here in the stands for Lackawanna as well, back at home watching.
Yeah, you got the whole team over the football.
Here it is, Gashel lining up.
Looks like you got a yard.
Lining up about a yard. As we said, what big fan base for Lackawanna, of course, the city, well known for Bethlehem Steel. The plant closed all the way back in October 1983, and those of a certain generation still feel that loss. But the pride of Lackawanna football, now 40 seconds left. It's going to be 2nd and 10 on the 1-yard line.
Just got to execute this snap, and it's not easy. They're all in root hogs. They're in 4-point stances down there, and they are going to plunge forward. Things can go wrong here.
Lackawanna
they had room to down
takes
it.
another knee, and the Steelers getting even more fired up. 15 seconds left and ticking. The clock continues to wind down to 10 seconds. Just a hard-fought battle. Fredonia finishing their season 9-2 overall. And Lackawanna, you're taking a bus ride to Batavia next weekend, a 22-20 victory over the Fredonia Hillbillies. Lackawanna, the number 2 seed, 11-0, a sectional win for head coach Adam Tardif.
Yeah, that was one of the most hard-fought games I've ever witnessed. Both sides are going to be extremely sore tomorrow. Lackawanna is going to have film study, and Fredonia is going to start planning their banquet. But Fredonia has absolutely nothing to be upset with. They can be proud of that team over there. They fought to the very, very end, and they were just overmatched a little bit, but still they almost pulled that one out. That was a heck of a football game and quite a pleasure.
Lackawanna will now face either East Rochester, Gannett, or Attica. Those two teams go head-to-head in the Section 5 Class C Finals this Saturday, 3 p.m. at SUNY Brockport. Lackawanna now heading on to the Far West Regionals next Saturday at noon, November 19th, at Batavia High School. Absolutely a wonderful finish. Congratulations to the Lackawanna Steelers and their coach, Adam Tardif, ending a 14-year drought tonight with the Lackawanna Steelers. A big pride on hand and a big performance as well. Final score once again, Lackawanna 22, Fredonia 20. And this will wrap up our coverage of the Section 6 Class C football finals for 2022. Jim, a pleasure working with you tonight.
Yep, that was unbelievable. That was an unbelievable football game. Really hard fought. Just a pleasure to witness.
Absolutely. Big time game coming up, and when we come back, we will have our post-game show. Francis Beck and company breaking down this one. Again, for our entire crew, this is Joe Kraus signing off. You've been watching the Section 6 Class C Finals on the NFHS Network.
Got to worry about my hair.
Hey, welcome back to Highmark Stadium. It is the Class C post-game show in an absolute thriller. It was Lackawanna defeating Fredonia 22-20, a game that I think certainly lived up to all of our expectations. Came down to the last possession, really the final minute of this one. So real quickly, let's go through the scoring plays, and I'll get your first thoughts on this game. So it started off, Lackawanna takes the lead, 26-yard pass, Geschel to Ashlyn Alexander Hall. But Fredonia answers back with about 3:40 to go in the second. Fry finds Jamison Quinn on an 80-yard touchdown pass. But then before the half, Lackawanna takes a 14-6 lead on a 75-yard run by Antoine Threet. Second half, Geschel and company get things started. 15-yard pass to Shaheem Smalls, 22-6. A few minutes later, Fry and Fredonia answer back on an 8-yard run on their long drive. He completes the 2-point conversion to Jay Hawk, 22-14. And then 2:32, the last score. Fry scores again. He finds Hawk, but misses on the 2-point conversion. That'll bring it to. It brought it to our 22-20, and then it was Antoine Smalls, the game-sealing interception at the end. So it was certainly a back-and-forth one. Fredonia never was in it till the very end. We'll start with you, Tim. First thoughts from this one.
Well, I thought, just an amazing game. I know it's going to be tough for Fredonia, but no reason to, keep their heads down by any stretch of the imagination. One of the things I was most impressed with, what we talked about in the pregame show, was how would Lackawanna do if they face adversity? And they certainly faced some today. Fredonia was up to the task. This was no easy game for Lackawanna. They faced, the quarterback over 350 yards for Fredonia, so they kept coming and made a great stand at the end, to hold on for the game.
And you mentioned at halftime show, Francis, that you wondered if Ethan Fry could come back like he did in the second half of the Medina game, and he sure did. He came back, just fell a little bit short, but he did. And kudos to Shaheem Smalls, who had a touchdown on offense and made that big interception and was excellent on defense the whole game.
Yeah, Francis, I just thought Lackawanna's defense, stellar. They were a little susceptible to the long ball, second half in particular, but every time Fredonia got it to the 30, to the 20, they tightened right up, and that was the reason they were victorious. They were able to stop a team. I believe that Fredonia got the ball inside the 50, 5 drive starts tonight, and came away with nothing.
Yeah, Lackawanna's got to tighten up the penalties, that's for sure. If they want to move on, they're going to play better teams as they go. And I don't have how many penalties I had in front of us, but there were so many times they were 2nd and 20, 13, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 30. It just they got to tighten that up.
All right, real quick play from you guys before we wrap it up here, because we got another pregame show coming up for our final game of the night. So, player of the game for each of you guys.
Go ahead.
I'm a big team guy, so I'm going to give it all to the defense.
No, I'm kidding.
No, because I think that's the type of way that you win a championship is with your team defense.
I'm going on the defensive side too, but Shaheem Smalls, number 2 from Lackawanna, is my player of the game.
I agree. Same thing.
I would go with Threes, but Smalls certainly has a case there. So that will wrap it up for us for now. Join us in a couple minutes. We're going to be back with our pregame show for the Class A game between Jamestown and Will North. But that will wrap it up for us for now. Again, we should be back about 5-10 minutes or so. So join us back then. So thank you for watching our coverage of the Class C championship game. Lackawanna 22, Fredonia 20. Lackawanna moves on to regionals. For Tim Chifa, Jim Craig, Paul Catrona, I'm Francis Beck. Thank you for watching.